All right.
That's what we have.
I call this meeting of Hamtramck City Council to order. Today is January 10th, 2023, and this is our first official meeting for the new year. Would the clerk call the rules, please?
I'm sorry, did you recite 703 or 704?
704.
704. Councilman Rafai is not here. Councilman Jakowski?
Present.
Councilman Chowdhury?
Present.
Councilman Mahmoud?
Yes.
Councilman Al-Samiri?
Yeah, present.
Councilman Hassan?
Present.
Mr. Mayor?
Present. Yes.
We have a quorum, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. All right, let's rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Do we have any community announcements? No?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes,
it's just
Councilwoman.
a reminder that the Hamtramck Mutual Aid and Black Club meetings are coming up this week, and Hamtramck Mutual Aid is still looking for people to assist with shoveling snow for seniors and disabled people in the city. So if you're interested in signing up to help out shovel another house or something this winter, if we ever get good snow, then let me know and I can help you find that link if you don't know where it's at. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other announcements? No. All right, and we don't have any proclamations, recognitions, or presentations for tonight. Any additions or deletions to the agenda? All right, then we move to the public comment. We have a full house today.
Max, do you have printed agenda? Do you have any printed agenda?
She
Yes,
might have a
here.
copy of this, that's why it's. You gotta get him one.
It's okay, don't worry about it.
If they can be quiet in the hallway, just in case I call their name, so they know I'm calling them, if they're out there, please. I have Yahya Al-Sharia, Jacob Street. You have 2 minutes.
Yeah, 2, 3.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
We are here to stand with our community and with the people of our beautiful city, the great Hamtramck. We are here to keep and save our coexisting in the city. We have many options to practice our religion, and we are thank this country to give us these rights. And we should choose the right which is the best for us and for all the people around us and our neighborhood. So I stand against the proposal to keep Hamtramck clean, to save our neighborhood, and not to turn Hamtramck the beautiful, which is welcoming city for us, not to turn this city to a slaughter home for all the people and all the Muslim communities around us from the other city. That's what I'm standing for, and I hope you all stand with us and start starting and going ahead in this proposal. Thank you, and sorry for my English.
No worries, thank you.
No worries.
Yahya, you also marked you want to speak again at the end, is that correct?
That's it.
You're good? Okay, thank you.
Take that.
Thank you, you're all set. Nasser Hussain?
Assalamu alaikum. I'm here to speak on behalf of the new ordinance. I think all the guards you put there, there's no excuse for not passing it. As we said before, try it, give it a try, and hopefully everything will be okay. If it doesn't work out, we'll be with you. But don't prevent people from letting them practice their religious freedom. People have been doing it for decades, and there is no harm has been done. Everybody tells you there's nothing wrong with Hamtramck for the past 2 decades. So please do the right thing, and thank you.
Thank you, Nasser. Khalid Al-Qasami, Goodson?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
I live in Hamtramck for 33 years, and it's a beautiful city. And then I heard people talking about religion. Slaughter the sheep is not from the religion at all. The Quran, 6,232 chapter, there is nothing say you have to kill the lamb in your house. And then we have to figure out how we gonna, if the holiday comes on Thursday, and then the guts and all the stuff is gonna be in the garbage. Next, and the garbage picked up, like in my house, next Thursday. That's 8 hours, 8 days. How are we gonna have the, like the smell of the garbage? And how many rats we need? We got enough rats in the city. Sorry for my language, but we need to keep the city clean. And there is no such thing, to say, this is from the religion. It's got nothing to do with Islam. If you want to practice your religion, to kill a sheep, whatever, you got to go to the farm, do it the right way, and go home. Thank you, and you guys have a good one.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Muammar Al-Ghazali, Eveline.
Good
2 minutes.
Everybody, good evening, Ismail. We are here out of sense of responsibility toward our society, which we must keep our city clean, and it's not necessary to apply religion in this regard from home. They are farmers. We can apply religion roads there for the guards. We need to keep our cities clean. Thank you for everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. Diane Lee. Two minutes, Diane.
Good evening, City Council, Mayor.
Good evening.
I'm disappointed that the animal slaughter in regards to the animal ordinance is still an issue and being discussed. Do you honestly think that the residents are going to contact the city clerk's office to schedule the animal slaughter, or that the city has enough manpower to inspect post-sacrifices for compliances? I seriously doubt the clerk will be notified. For some slaughter, maybe, perhaps, but not all of them. Because I guarantee when word gets out that religious slaughter is finally allowed, no one is going to give a damn in notifying the city, especially the ones, unfortunately, who do not have English-speaking skills. Do you think that the residents know the difference between safe, sane, and humane slaughter from abuse or suffering of the animal? No, it's not safe or sane or humane, because basements or kitchens or backyards are not suitable places for live animal slaughter. There are businesses within the city that provide live halal animal slaughter, including the Eastern Market. So it's perfectly okay to take away business from these people who are supporting their families and serving customers. It's been stated on social media that New York provides religious animal slaughter. Well, the New York City Council has 51 members for each district, several committees and subcommittees. They have the time and manpower to handle religious slaughter. Our city doesn't, and it's obvious that you 7 can't even handle the main issues of the city, because there are far more bigger and more important things in the city, such as the increase in crime, speeding, reckless driving, our crumbling streets, lack of new businesses or retention. For each new business that opens, one closes. Other city issues, as well as job vacancies in the city administration. Instead of providing resources, programs, and servicing to progress this city, we are regressing to a small third world country. I pay my taxes, I vote for some of you, and I'm disappointed. Do better. Please make it safe for our community.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yoshiro Lee. Subase. Excuse me, sir. Thank you. Two minutes, Yoshiro.
I'm a professional butcher. Years of experience. I'm not some random neighbor 3 houses down the street. I'm here today to voice my opinion regarding the animal slaughter ordinance. I'm friends with a lot of butchers who are Muslim, and they perform it in the Islamic slaughter way. They do it humanely. All sanitary and USDA guidelines, including the rights of the animal itself, is followed. Don't think that just because they came from a farm, whatever the animal is, that it means the animal is good for consumption. Or that it won't be a parasitic or mycobacterial threat to the environment. E. coli continues to be one of the #1 killers worldwide. I'll extend it.
Do you want an extra minute?
Yes.
Is that what you asked the mayor?
That's
Mayor
fine.
says it's okay.
Yeah.
You got
Thank
2
you.
more minutes.
I'm Hmong American. So if you let this pass, that also means you have to allow me to do what I want to do. One name in Hupli is a Hmong cultural ritual, of which requires a pig, cow, or chicken to be sacrificed, and they have to be alive. And trust me, it's not humane. If you're allowing animal sacrifice, then I'll be allowed to slaughter a pig. And keep in mind that Oneng and Hupli can be done at any time during the year and multiple times throughout the year. No, you don't know what you're doing. This ordinance is going to bring not just y'all, but all of us a lot of serious heat. I've been in the news before, not over something like this, but animal rights groups are going to see that, and they will be coming here. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Cheryl. Cheryl, do you still want to speak at the end of the meeting? You marked it twice?
Depends.
Okay, no
Thank you.
problem. Rosal Chowdhury, Trowbridge? Oh, no, never mind, he wants to speak at public hearing, I scratched that. Ahmed Saleh? Ahmed Saleh? Rosal, you want to speak now or the public hearing?
Public hearing.
You want to speak it now and just, you want to speak
That's
now?
fine.
You
That's
can,
fine.
welcome, come
All
on.
right, thank you, council. You know why we are here. A lot of people are here to raise their voice against the animal slaughter in Hamtramck houses. I spoke last meeting also. I don't want to repeat this. A lot of speakers are saying about this, but I'm pointing out only few points. The city council is advocating if they don't change an existing law, city will be sued. How is possible? Normally a sue comes when you change an existing law and people get upset, they sue. If this law is here for 100 years without any problem, now you are trying to bring something, a change, and people are opposing it and you saying, city will be sued. Why the Hamtramck? Why not Detroit? Why not Dearborn? Why not Warren? These cities also will be sued because they are not changing their rule. So I can't accept it. And another thing, last meeting Mr. Mayor said, if it goes to the ballot, the minority right will be, not respected. But you elected as after getting the majority vote. So again, today you will pass it with majority. Suddenly you are coming with something, the minority rights. I don't get it. And a lot of things to say, but I'm saving time for other speakers. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. If the door is gonna be open, I need the hallway to stay quiet, please. Ahmed Saleh? No, that wasn't Ahmed Saleh. I have Muhammad Rahman. Ahmed Saleh. I don't think he's.
just call the next one.
I know. Muhammad Rahman?
Ahmad Rahman.
No? Okay. Is it Zabad Shiraz? What are you asking?
No, they're calling for Muhammad Rahman.
Are you Muhammad? Come on. You got 5 seconds left. No, I'm just kidding. Come on. Yep, go ahead. 2 minutes, sir.
Okay, so we not support that for that.
You have to speak to the council.
Yeah, we not support that for, so due to like climate. And so we're requesting for the city, it's arranged for the different specific place is gonna be on.
Is that all? Thank you, sir. Thanks for your
Thank you.
voice. Thank you. Is Muhammad Rahman here or no?
This is Rahman, I think.
Was that Muhammad or? Okay,
So it's Muhammad.
so, okay.
It's Muhammad Saleh.
The long mic.
Is it Arubinda?
What's the?
Yes? They're here?
Yeah.
Thanks for your help. $5 off your next service. I'm joking.
What the animal?
He's like, business license, $95 now.
Ano ba yung matagal? Ano ba?
Welcome, 2 minutes, sir.
I like to speak in Bengali.
Okay.
I don't support this kind of activity because it is not hygienic for the environment. And it is very fair for the growing children. They can be very deprived, they can be sometimes they can be fell down or they can fear it and they will be in problem. So we are not able to tackle all this. And watering must be done in one place and for environment will be good for that. That's all. And so many problems for if we like to do that one, it will be very problem for the environment and hygienic. Yeah. So thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Lynn Blasey?
Happy New Year, Mayor and Council.
Happy New Year.
Thanks.
I'm going to talk about agenda topics. I'm really excited about the appointment of Jetri and Maria to the Arts and Culture Commission. That we have been working very closely with them throughout the last year, and their presence on the commission and participation will strengthen the work that we've been doing in the Arts and Culture Commission. So thank you for those appointments, Mayor. Regarding Resolution 2023-03, I really think this is a step in the right direction towards a healthier work environment. It's pretty common practice that you can roll over PTO days or cash them in, and I think that will make a difference to our city hall employees that are not unionized or have other protections for their work. Regarding Resolution 2023-04, I'm really glad to see that the movement of these properties is moving quickly. You guys just acquired them a few months ago. I was talking to residents in the community and I didn't have an answer for this, so I'm hoping it comes up in the discussion. And they were wondering why their particular sales method of blind auctions was chosen over other methods. So if that could come out in the discussion, I think that would be helpful to the community. Can I have more time?
That's fine.
I think I'll be okay, but regarding Resolution 2023 5 and 6, I'm glad for continued investment in our infrastructure. And I think it's really important that as we pass these resolutions that we work on ways to let the community know that we are actively addressing lead, we're actively addressing water mains and our sewage issues, because I really think that'll instill a lot of positive energy and faith in the work that you're doing here at City Hall. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lynn.
Abu Zuber?
Abu Zubair.
Assalamu alaikum and good evening. First of all, I got to congratulate our Muslim cabinet. First time here after elected the Muslim cabinet in the city of Hamtramck. I'd like to congratulate Mohit Mahmoud. Thank you everyone. And it should have been better if we arrange bigger space today where we'll know a lot of people will be coming. Would have been nice. And also another thing I want to say, this is shame on us. You just have to write down something in the erasing of it. We should have provided nice and clean paper to put our name in. That's not acceptable. I'm sorry to upset that. I'm just straightforward. I gotta say if something see wrong, we shouldn't be doing that. It's not professional. We shouldn't be doing that. I'm just gonna talk about the resolution. I'm gonna take it. Whatever resolution, we're grateful to is the great country in the world. We have a lot of opportunity here. We have thanks to America. But with the resolution we're about to, I heard about it, slaughtering in home is unacceptable. Shouldn't be allowed these kind of things. A lot of things, it's short term. I cannot explain the cleanliness and safety issue, and it's a lot of things also that a lot of kids gonna see that traumatized. So if one or two people, we should have, I thought we were gonna have 3 minutes to talk, it's only changing to 1
still
minute.
have a
You
minute.
can add your extra minute, you asked the mayor for the extra
So
minute.
Mayor,
Sure.
should have, I know there was 3 minutes, so we should have added the minutes, so we have to allow everybody to talk. And the next time we should have allowed a bigger, if we need to fund it, we can fund it, and now it's a big hall, we can allow people to come, we can talk about it. So this, I'm totally against the resolution. I'm Muslim, so I'm proud. I have all right. I'm very happy to the great country in the world. I have all right to practice my religion. That's not mean I can do whatever I want, and that's, it has to be think about the cleanliness, safety, and health issue. When our city is dirty enough, we don't want to make more dirty. It's dirty enough. Shame of us, we don't clean our city. It's include me too. I'm not gonna say shame on us. We don't need to clean it. Thank you very much, and have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Bill Meyer?
Happy New Year,
Happy New Year.
and I want to compliment our city clerk, who's one of the first ones who's ever been able to pronounce everybody's names correctly.
Depends on who you
He gets
ask.
it.
I've heard differently.
Well, this is a difficult job today, keeping all these people to speak, and I don't know if everyone understands, this is public comment, this is not the public hearing, which is the public hearing comes after the consent agenda, so you all can come back again and talk as long as you want. Now you only have 2 minutes, so maybe you prefer waiting till later.
Yeah.
I have a very short thing. I'm not going to talk about the ordinance right now. I'll save it for this. I just want to say that Martin Luther King Day is coming up next weekend. And he said a very important thing in 1967, 60 years ago almost. And this relates to all of us, all humanity. He said that we have inherited a large house, meaning the planet, a great world house in which we have to live together. Black and white, Easterner and Westerner, Gentile, Jew, Catholic, Protestant, Muslim, Hindu, a family unduly separated in ideas, culture, and interest, and who, because we can never again live apart, must learn somehow to live with each other in peace. And that was Martin Luther King. So I just want to establish that first, and thank you for letting me.
Thank you.
Mr. Meyer. Mohammed Hajaran? 2 minutes.
السلام عليكم. أقدر أتكلم بالعربي؟ طيب، احنا نشتي حقوقنا، ما هو حقوقنا بالقانون الأمريكي، ما نشتي غير القانون الأمريكي. وبعدين في عدة حاجات نشتي نتكلم عنها، هذا بالنسبة للذبيحة نشتي القانون الأمريكي. الحاجة الثانية، أنتم هذه بالإدارة، هذه بالإدارة الأولى والثانية، لكم تاريخ. الأولين سمحوا بالحشيشة، وأنتم الآن سمحتم برفع العلم حق المثلية. هذا أعمالكم. الثاني ذا الحين شوفوا رويكم أنتم لا تدوروا خرقتم للصيدي. فعلتم هذا العدادات في جزف كامبل. الآن جزف كامبل بالنت كله، وهو كان شغال ويدفع تكس الدكاكين ويدفعوا تكس. الآن إيش استفدتم؟ الشركة إذا استفادها مش الصيدي.
وهذا الأعمال اللي تقوموا فيها. فإحنا نشتي ما هو حقنا بالقانون الأمريكي، ما نشتيش غير القانون الأمريكي. صح إن كل واحد له رأيه وكل واحد، إحنا نشتي القانون الأمريكي ما هو مسموح للديانات، لكل الديانات الواحد يعمل بها، وإحنا نشتي بدأنا نعمل بديانتنا، ما نشتيش أي حاجة غيرها. تشتي تذبح، أنا أشتي أذبح وما أذبحش، يعني أشتي القانون الأمريكي وكل واحد هو حر بنفسه.
اوكي، واحنا مجبورين نسمع لك وللطرف الثاني، لا تسمع الطرف الثاني.
اسمع لكن والحاجة اللي طرحتوها لكم من الحين
مش صح، الباركن دي ادوها اللي قبلنا مش احنا.
لا ولكن الإدارة الأولى والثانية، وأنتم احنا أنتم اللي حقتم بعدين طرحتم العلم. حق
هم هذول اللي يقولوا لهم حقوق مثلكم، لا تنسى.
لهم حقوق مثل ليش كان في صيتيات بمشكل ذي منعه وهم ما فيش بينهم سكان مسلمين واحنا مسلمين 85% و80% مسلمين.
ما بيش لك حق تطرد الآخرين من المدينة حتى
أنا ما أقدر تطردهم، أنا ما قلت لك شيء، لكن بالقانون بالحق. والسلام عليكم.
وعليكم السلام.
عبد الخالق.
Good evening. Assalamu alaikum. I'm here to support the slaughtering issue. I'm here resident of since 1997. I've seen this practice being held in since then. I never seen any mess, and whoever talking, then I have no proof of mess and hygiene. This is part of our religion to be clean. This is and whoever said is not a religion, any book. He have no, his ignorance about his book and the Quran. God says 4 times about the religions, and this is religion's right. If it's today, I'm hoping this resolution will pass. If it's not passed, then we are ready to take it to the court for the religious rights. It is constitution, and we support our. The council members would support our religious right, and whoever support, we are looking for them in the future. If it's not, then we do take it other way. And this is this issue is very serious. It's a religious part, and we are responsible for cleaning. We just give if you ban something, you ban. If you leave it open and you watch it, to how the people deal with this. And I hope it's never going to be a mess. And it's very few people does. Most of the people, myself, is sometimes go to the slaughterhouse. But it's never been mess. But I need some more time.
Sure.
So I'm hoping all the members will pass this issue. And we are very grateful for this if it's happened. And if it's not, then we have to think about a different way. And second things is our issue about LGBT take it to the next election in ballot, so people can give their opinion, yes or no. Thank you very much.
Thank you. ياسر آغا.
Yes. السلام عليكم. إن شاء الله أنا بعد ذلك ومدح أتكلم بالعربي. أولا يؤسفني أن الموضوع هذا موضوع الأضاحي أخذ وقت طويل تقريبا سنة كاملة ونحن نناقش الموضوع، ونحن نشك أن هناك يعني تعمد في إطالة الموضوع من أجل تمرير أجندة أخرى وقرارات أخرى. في أخ تكلم قال هذا ليش من الدين، أنا إمام وأنا أحفظ القرآن كامل وأحفظ الكثير من الأحاديث وهذا هو من ديننا، وإبراهيم عليه السلام هو الذي بدأ بالتضحية وضحى، والله ذكر في القرآن الأضاحي تقريبا 4 مرات ويذكرها في القرآن الكريم، هذا حق يعني من الحقوق الدينية. كنت أتمنى أن يحسم الأمر قديما. الدكتور أمير تكلم يعني في البداية أن هذا حق قانوني، لكن ما حد سمع له من أول جلسة. هو قال هذا حق قانوني ولا بد أنه إذا لم يمرر القانون ستتدخل يعني منظمات أخرى وتذهب يعني السيتي إلى السوبريم كورت. للأسف هناك عدد من الذين يكتبوا إيميلات يعني وأنا سمعت الخبر هذا، ومن الذين حاضرين الآن معنا يتكلمون وهم ليسوا من سكان مدينة همترامي. نقطة ثالثة، لماذا لا يتم يعني إيجاد مترجم من اللغة العربية إلى اللغة الإنجليزية مثل ديربون؟ الآن we have many people they are outside they can speak English, they want to sacrifice, they can speak English. Why the city يعني إحنا الآن بيننا وبينكم يعني بالسيتي الانتخابات القادمة أو القانون الذي بيننا إن شاء الله. أنا try to speak English. Good evening. I am surprised why the city councils for almost 1 year have been training to stop the sacrifice of animals. And this is a right given to us in the freedom of religion amendment. And we have many people, they can't speak English, and we need somebody to translate for them. Many people, they don't have social media. Can you give me more?
Yeah.
They don't have social media, they don't have Facebook, they don't have WhatsApp. Many fathers, they are outside now, and they can't speak English, like me. But they can't stand up. They want sacrifice. They said only few people. A few people, 5 people or 10 people, why we don't give them their right? Thank you.
Thank you.
Is it Porash Nad?
هذا نوعي ونحرر شمنا
2 minutes, sir. Welcome.
ওদিকে দিকে মতো কর
আমি আসলে এই চাইলাম না
Speak up, please.
yeah
Speak up.
he's speaking in Bengali
I know, but
so
still.
just একটু জোরে মাতো আগে হোকা
আমি এটা না করতে চাইলাম না, এটা পরিবেশ খারাপ হইব, তারপরে বাচ্চা কাচ্চা এগুলা দেখলে কষ্ট অসুস্থ হইতে পারে, কারণ এগুলো দেখছে না কোনো সময়।
all right
আমি চাইলাম না।
so he's against these resolutions and sake of environment and the children. He's against the resolution of animal slaughtering.
Thank you, Councilman.
Thank you so much. Mr. Mayor, that is all for public comment. The rest are for public hearing. The rest of the public comments are for public hearing. I'll call your names when we're ready on that part.
Or you have someone else.
Okay.
All right.
So, if there's anyone who doesn't speak English and he wants help with translation, he can choose someone to help him, or we can help him and translate his comment. That's fine with us. And before we move on, you can see how the community is divided now. And we have to listen to people from both sides. And that's why I suggested in the beginning that a compromise is the only solution. Because we cannot suppress people's right on practicing something, and we cannot give them a random freedom to do anything they want. The only thing that can work is regulating this practice, taking into consideration maintaining safe and clean environment, proper waste disposal, keep it hidden from public view, and there's penalties for violating these rights. What could work better than a compromise? I don't understand. If you take it in the ballot, it may go this way or that way, but it's not going to put an end for it. People are still going to fight for it. People are still going to file lawsuit against the city. And we started having some organization requesting some information from the city. And I said it in the first meeting, we want to protect the city from lawsuit. We've been paying $30,000 a month for the housing, racial discrimination housing lawsuit for the past 54 years. And we are putting an end for it hopefully this year with building the last 3 houses. So why do we like to go through this for the rest of our term? This was not one of our priorities. This was brought randomly when we were reviewing the old ordinances, the animal ordinance. And so it consumed so much time of our time and efforts, meeting after meeting, phone call after another from all these community leaders. Do I want to spend the whole of the rest of my 3 years discussing these issues that are not our priorities? We want to move on to serious issues of the city. And if you say it was some organization did not file lawsuits in the past, well, some people were practicing this ritual in the past, and we didn't see a disaster. So people will argue this way. They will say, okay, let us just practice it like we used to. And nobody's going to file a lawsuit. No disaster happened because of the trash and waste disposal process. So people will argue this way. We'll hear more public comments in the hearing, so we will move on now. We'll move on to the consent agenda, and this is approved with a single motion with no discussion. We have item A, approval of minutes from the December 13, 2022 regular city council meeting. B, approval of minutes from December 28, 2022 special council meeting. C, approval of invoice register date ending January 10, 2023. D, approval of pre-approved expenditure date ending January 10, 2023. E, approval of council and mayor appointment to boards and commissions. Resolution 2023-1, mayor and council appointments of regular members to the boards and commissions.
Make a motion?
And second.
All in favor?
Aye.
No objections?
No.
All right.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to swear in the commission.
We have several here tonight, Mr. Mayor. I can't tell you which ones exactly because of the crowd.
I think all but one are here.
They're here?
If you're up tonight for a board and commission, please step up. We have 2 human relations, 2 zoning, and 2 arts and cultures. I'll say 1 arts and culture. Who all do we have tonight?
I think there's 6 total. Hamyad? Okay.
I didn't see the stack one, which she's here.
Oh, Stackpole?
Yeah, which is in here.
All right, I'm gonna do. Kathy's not here?
No.
I'm gonna do Hamyad first. I'm gonna do each commission separately, so there's 3 commissions. So Hamyad, Human Relations. I state your name.
I'm Mayoral.
Do solemnly swear
Do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of this state,
and the Constitution of the state,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the Human Relations Commission
the duty of the Human Relations Commission
of the City of Hamtramck
of the City of Hamtramck
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you. Maria? No Maria? Okay. Munir? Zoning? Are you SM? Come on.
Do at the same time?
You're both zoning, so I'm gonna swear you guys are gonna be saying the same thing. The only difference is your names, okay? I state your name.
I, Munir Sharif,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United
and
States
the Constitution of this state,
and the Constitution of the state,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and I will faithfully discharge
the duties of
the duties of
the Arts and Culture Commission. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm reading my copy. Thank you. For the Zoning Board of Appeals
zoning board of the appeals
of the City of Hamtramck
of the city of Hamtramck
according to the best of my ability.
according to my best.
Congratulations.
We never usually have this big of an audience for our boards and commissions.
Yes, this is right here. Yep, yep, perfect. Thank you, Gentry.
It's good.
Arts and Culture, there you go.
I, Judge Patria,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of this state,
and the Constitution of this state,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the Human Relations Commission
the duties of the Human Relations
Yep.
Commission.
Arts and culture.
Arts and
Arts- The duties of the
Okay, I got this, yes.
Arts and
Thank
Culture
you.
Commission of the
Thank
City
you.
of
Of
Hamtramck,
the City of Hamtramck, according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Thank you, congratulations. And we still have no Maria or Kathy, correct?
Correct.
Okay, we're all good. Thank you. That's okay. Mr. Mayor, that's all.
Thank you.
For the swearing in, but we're ready for public comment again, I'm assuming?
Public hearing.
Public hearing, yeah.
So we'll move on to the public hearing, and we have the only item, Resolution 2022-160, approving public hearing and second reading of amendment to Hamtramck Animal Ordinance.
We're motioning to start
Yeah,
the public hearing.
I need a motion to start the public hearing.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All right, and then
And it is
7:44.
All right.
We
Now
can
we
move
need a
on.
motion for the resolution.
Okay. We just opened the floor for the hearing.
First for the hearing.
Yeah,
So we're good to discussion now.
But it's just, anyone wanted to speak?
I'm gonna speak, I have to read 25 emails, I'm gonna try to go through them really quick. Most of them are really short, so bear with me.
Sure.
This one is Ahmad Ali. Hello, Mayor, City Council, City Manager, City Attorney, and City Clerk. My name is Ahmad Ali, and I live on Home Street. My comment today is in support of the updated and tightly regulated animal slaughter ordinance. I think that these updates have brought up the balance and removed any legal issues or lawsuits that the city could have had if we didn't have these updates, while keeping in mind the cleaning to the forefront. I would also like to thank you for making new properties up for auction, but I dislike the 2-year part and would like to see that extended to at least 8 to 10 years to give people with lower savings, the majority of Hamtramck residents, the ability to buy these homes and rehab them at their own pace. As the way they now only allow rich people and corporations, since they have such sufficient funding. Thank you again for your time and service. And I apologize for any mishaps. I'm reading the emails as they come in. This is Hafiz El Samiri. We don't want animals to be slaughtered in the city of Hamtramck. My name is Abdul Malik Kassam, YALA founder and former president, the American PAC Outreach. This is my message that needs to be addressed on today's city council meeting. We don't need to slaughter animals in our homes. There are nearby designated places to do so. Allowing this to happen will bring us bad consequences that narrow minds are incapable of seeing. Everyone I discuss this subject with agrees with me. Sheikh Omaisan stated that Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, never sacrificed animals in his own home, and said he did it in a designated place. We live in a democratic country that doesn't allow a few people to decide everyone else's future. Decisions that will affect all residents should always be put on the ballot so that people decide for themselves. This one is Yahya Hamid, no slaughter in Hamtramck homes. Dear Hamtramck City Council, this is Sayyida Begum. You are considering a resolution to allow animal slaughtering in Hamtramck houses. I don't think it's a good idea for the city. If it's a rural area, I wouldn't mind, but the city has no space between two houses. All of the residents are not Muslim. I don't want to make my non-Muslim neighbors upset by doing this. Please don't pass this resolution. This is Ratna Begum. I don't support animal slaughter in house. MD Abdul Muhit. Hello, I am writing to express my opinion about the new regulation on slaughtering animals in Hamtramck homes. I don't support of the slaughtering animals in individual homes. Hamtramck is a small, dense, yet a highly populated city. Bringing animals for slaughter here would make it challenging to keep the city clean. Cities like Detroit, Warren, and Dearborn has a big Muslim population, but they are slaughtering animals at designated areas to keep the city clean and safe. Thank you, Mohammed. Mohammed Rahman. Hello, my name is Mohammed Rahman. I am a resident of the city of Hamtramck, Michigan. I also have a couple of rental properties in Hamtramck. In regards to the animal slaughtering law in Hamtramck, my opinion is that I disagree with slaughtering animals in the backyards of homes for religious purposes because it would make messes and it would also cause environmental concerns. I also spoke about the issue with my tenants and they also disagree with slaughtering animals in the backyard. Thank you, sincerely, Mohammed Rahman. This is Lahi Begum. I am against slaughtering animals at home. My kids get sick by watching it. Faris Al Samiri. We do not want sheep to be slaughtered in the city. This is from Zach Ahmed on behalf of Bengal Spices. Dear respected Mayor, I'm writing to you in regards to Hamtramck City Council holding a public hearing on Tuesday, 1/10/2023 at 7 p.m. in the City Council chambers for a proposal which seeks to allow the slaughter of animals at home residents for religious purposes. I'm asking for your unwavering support in helping me and other concerned citizens to fight to not have this proposal passed. We are deeply concerned for the welfare and future of our city should this proposal be passed. Here are our reasons why passing this proposal will have adverse consequences for our community. As you are aware, our beloved city, Hamtramck, is a densely populated small town. What affects one house can affect several others. Housing animals in a home residence and later slaughtering these animals will emit noise and odor pollution and contaminate our environment. When a post-slaughter is not cleaned properly, such as removing the animal's skin or gills, smells of blood and flesh and bacteria can remain on properties, and it is extremely difficult to get rid of the odors. Furthermore, animals brought in for slaughter may contain sick animals, which can lead to diseases spreading throughout our small city. Our town is not farmland, where there is enough space for such activities. Not only is this sensitive sight and smell for a passerby, but we do not wish to traumatize children and affect their emotional health from witnessing or hearing the slaughtering process. If the city allows the slaughter at any or every household, Hamtramck will become a slaughterhouse rather than a charming small town. We will lose our city's appeal, and residents will depart to other locations because our neighborhoods will be uninhabitable if these activities are permitted. We understand and respect the fundamental right of freedom of religion. However, according to Islamic experts, it is not obligatory to slaughter animals at home, and that a slaughter can be conducted at any permitted place so long as the slaughter and the premises are kept clean. Slaughtering animals at home is not necessary, nor is it hygienic, as Muslims in the city and other Muslim majority cities and states have been slaughtering animals at permitted locations for decades. Refusing to pass this proposal would not infringe on any religious privilege, as there are other alternatives and permitted locations for a slaughter to be conducted. Furthermore, allowing this proposal to pass will likely violate the regulations of the Food and Drug Administration, and this will lead to further legal complications. Not only that, it is likely that animal rights groups will take various steps against our city. We do not have the time or funding to fight this battle, since it is, as stated above, unnecessary for a slaughter to be conducted at a home resident. Additionally, the city of Hamtramck has a history of taking action against odor complaints, especially those stemming from animal slaughter. Let me remind you of an established business named Bengal Spices, currently located in Conant Street. Bengal Spices has been providing the Hamtramck community with Indian groceries, fish, meat, and poultry since 1987. In 2018, an individual took up residence in a house behind the store and started to complain about the noise coming from the chicken delivery trucks and the odor of businesses' animal slaughter. With each complaint came a ticket, usually $500 or more, issued by the DPW to Bengal Spices and even to the company that supplied the live chicken. Attorneys had to be hired by Bengal Spices to deal with each ticket. As a result of these complaints and tickets, Bengal Spices had to stop receiving the chicken delivery trucks from the back door of the store. It's unlimited. Who's saying that? It's unlimited for public hearing. Thanks for the interruption. Bengal Spices was even shut down for a month last year due to the chicken slaughter complaints. To resume its business practices, Bengal Spices had to pay $11,000 to reinstate its business license. Clearly, the city of Hamtramck takes its noise and odor complaints seriously. If this proposal passes and animal slaughter is permitted at homes in the city, what message is Hamtramck sending when it did not allow Bengal Spices to conduct its chicken slaughtering activities? Is this a new income strategy for DPW? By passing this proposal, will this mean that the city of Hamtramck will also shut down operations for every home-based animal slaughter anytime a citizen complains of a smell or odor? If so, this proposal is counterproductive and thus should not pass. If not, it would be hypocritical of the city to shut down a grocery store conducting an animal slaughter business and not take issue with animal slaughter at a home resident. I hope this letter is clear in stating our concerns regarding this proposal, and I hope we have your support in ensuring that our city remains a clean, healthy, and friendly environment. Thank you for your time and consideration. Sincerely, Zach Ahmed on behalf of Bengal Spice. This is from Frank Isham. Totally 100% against the barbaric, inhumane acts to proceed in the city of Hamtramck. Some radical residents want to change the landscape instead of being normal and making sense. We have butcher shops, many of them. But no, some of these uneducated foreigners want to make Hamtramck streets a butcher shop. Blood, feces, intestines, smelly sheep in the garages, alleys, backyards. You really don't know what the repercussions are if this passes. Most of the Muslim community is against this, but a couple of people have took advantage of the scenario and threatened other Muslims to not speak up, and if they did, they would be against Islam. Actually, in Arab countries and Muslim countries, this is not allowed. It's written in the law, but the laws are not implemented because the governments are corrupt and have bigger issues to deal with. Good afternoon, my name is Sultan Alodi. I live on Home Street in Hamtramck. I'm with the slaughter proposal, and I ask city council members to not restrict the right to pray our religion as we like. It goes against the Freedom of Religion Amendment. Also, there has been rumors going around the city that a city council member has his residence listed on his ID in the city of Hamtramck, but he does not live or reside in the city. If this could be investigated, because we don't want someone who doesn't live in the city to be a part of the city's council, and they don't even reside here. I am a resident of Hamtramck. My name is Mohammed Al-Sharai. Jacob Street, I'm against animal slaughter in the city of Hamtramck. Ibtisam Al-Sharai, I apologize. I want to say no for slaughter in Hamtramck homes. I am Abdul Wahid Al-Sharai, against slaughter in Hamtramck homes. My name is Kais Al-Halimi. My address is on Eveline Street. No slaughter in Hamtramck. Thanks. Hello, I am a resident of St. Aubin Street. This is Claire Nawak Boyd. I would like to express my opposition to the proposed animal ordinance. Cultural traditions are important, but I would prefer that animals not be slaughtered in my neighborhood. We all live in very close proximity here in Hamtramck. Your neighbor's house is just a few feet from your own, while there is a proposal to put up barriers so neighbors don't see it. Like many Hamtramckans, I live on the second floor. We would still see and hear it. I am not confident the safety measures would work. I'm not confident the safety measures would work. There's how inspection processes work in theory, and then there's how they work in practice when everyone is busy and resources are stretched. I don't want animal slaughter in my residential neighborhood. I am a Hamtramck resident. This is Shiuli Rahman. I don't support animal slaughter in my neighborhood. There are a lot of rats already in the city. My name is Mohammed Kassam. I'm against animal slaughter in our houses. Designated places are nearby to do so. Let's keep our city clean and safe for all residents. Rayan Fuad, no slaughter in Hamtramck homes. Anwar Kassam, I'm against animal slaughtering in our houses. Designated places are nearby to do so. Let's keep our city clean and safe for all residents. Saeed Ali Riza, city may set up or recognized a place where we can use to cut animals, or does our Qurbani easily. Fee for cutting goat, cows may be fixed by city corporation for retails, only showing providing of residency in Hamtramck. City, look after administration, neat and cleanliness, and open for 2 days in a week. Halal process might be over here. Small pet, animal, chicken, hen, Small pet, animal, chicken, hen, pigeon, etc. may be allowed to cut in own house with some sort of condition like rubbish must be kept in black polythene properly tight and kept in a separate garbage can. Thank you, Saeed Riza. I'm gonna read this one. I should have read it on the first one, but since it was in emails in the entire stack. This is also from Claire Nawak Boyd. I support changing the employee handbook as proposed. As someone who has worked in municipal government in Michigan, I've heard people in my industry talking about the work environment at Hamtramck City Hall, and what they had to say was not positive. We need to take steps to change that and to be more competitive so that we can keep good people and attract good talent. The people who make our city work deserve to live well. Please update the employee handbook and look for other ways to make Hamtramck City Hall a better place to work. Thank you, Claire Nawak Boyd. I'll take that wow as a compliment. Thank you. Hold on, there's still more. There's now the residents. MD Fakhrul Islam.
Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah, wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa ala. All praises due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, blessings and salutation of our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Dear respected City Council and all of the brothers and sisters are here today. I respect all of them, and I want to tell you that, like,
lot of city council meeting I missed, and so many people called me, and I spoke with so many people from Bangladeshi community and Arabic community, and today I have to come, I'm forced to come to the city council meeting. But this is the friendly force, not don't think other way. Okay. My talk today as a representative of Islam, Muslim community. Islam means peace, okay? And Islam is a very peaceful religion all over the world. Don't think like Islam is radical, no. Our Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, وَكَذَلِكَ جَعَلْنَاكُمْ أُمَّةً وَسَطًا. We are the nation of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who's in the middle way of the the nation. We are the middle way. We are not too extreme and not too low. Our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Khairul umuri awsatuha." We are the middle. We are not too extreme and not too low. Okay. Religious issue is sacrificing the animal. This is the religious issue. And we have to go back to the Ibrahim alayhi salam, who started sacrificing animal from the heavenly animal, how he did. And we have to go back to our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We have to think how he did. We have to go back to our ashab.
Don't interrupt, please. Whoever is interrupting, please don't.
Our companions of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, however they did. We could do that like them, as a following of the Sunnah. This is the first thing. You could open the slaughtering in the city, and you could, make a rule to control the cleanliness. Our Prophet ﷺ said, cleanliness is half of faith. Muslims should know that. Not only the slaughtering, we have to be clean for everything. Now we have so many bad smell in the city. Marijuanas, so many marijuanas in city. And so many bad things, LGBT. Nobody talking against of that. My 13 years old son, I did not know that. He said, Baba, I'm driving. And on Joseph Kumba, he said, Baba, last time one of the old guy, he used the marijuana and he killed himself in the parking lot of marijuana facility. I fought against of marijuana, everybody knows that. And my house, if you go to my house, you will see they shooted in my window. I reported to the police. I attacked so many times from them in front of the masjid. They tried to kill me. But we have to stand up for the right thing. We are all in brotherhood. We are not going to be divided. We are not going to be divided. This is not end of the world. If they allow to slaughter the animal in the city, we'll see. If our people don't clean, then I am the first person going forward to collect signatures and stop this ordinance. Second thing, the LGBT flag, which is,
Stay on topic.
one topic?
You're speaking on the public hearing regarding the ordinance of the animal ordinance.
Okay.
So stick to that topic,
Okay,
please.
okay, I'm going to come for that again. Don't worry. Okay. Okay. The thing is the lawsuit, I heard that from other community. Mr. Mayor already mentioned that. Our city is very poor. So many times went to the state and so many strugglings. I am very related to the city. I know that. If I don't have a time, I try to contact our council members, so speak about the city, mayor, I try to contact them. If we got the lawsuit, then who's going to pay?
who's going to pay? And some other Muslim people, they are ready to go to the care of Michigan, and they could start the lawsuit. You know, the Sterling Heights City, they paid 1.5 million. They stopped to make mosque. The city of Troy, I went to the public hearing, first public hearing, more than these kinds of big gathering. They don't care about us. Then the Care Michigan, they put it the lawsuit, they got the lawsuit, and they paid big amount of the money, and they opened the mosque. Let's practice our religion. We are not stopping to practice other people's religion. We are very honored to the other people, and we are not stopping to them to practice their religion. Let us to practice our religion. If we don't clean, then I am again mentioning that I am the first person going forward to collect signature, and don't, please don't think I am talking to get the satisfaction of the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if you talk, you have to talk like all of the talking is, you know, the counting. Every moment, everything are counting. According to our religion, two angels are in two shoulders. They are counting the bad thing from the left and good thing from the right. Okay? Don't think if you talk, I'm like requesting all of you, talk like as a servant of Allah. And think about it, we have to face the judgment one of the day. And if we face the judgment and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala question us about this issue and we can't answer, then we're going to go to the hellfire. This is my, as a religious person, my humble request to all of them, please be calm, be gentle, and be respectful to each other. I saw so many bad arguments, so many bad things, so many bad talking. I don't want to hear that again. This is all I said. If I made any mistake, please forgive me. And I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive me. Wa akhir da'wana and alhamdulillah rabbil alamin.
Thank you.
Is it Abdul Malik Al Dalag?
Zanadi. Good afternoon. My name is Abdul Malik Abdullah. I live in Adjournment for 15 years. I traveled to many countries, especially in the Middle East. Some brothers Arab know. This is not allowed out in the community to affect, even if you as a plumbing person, about the sewer system, when you slaughter, you have a blood in it. So behind the wall of the foundation of the house, there's a clay, and usually it's about 3 feet long. In each connection, usually fit in dirt through time. So what does that affect is when the blood is, it's gonna sit there. It's gonna affect the area. Okay? Assalamu alaikum.
I have Muhammad Al Dalali.
Okay, we talking about
Animal ordinance.
exactly that we didn't need to do it here in Adjournment because they're gonna bring more bacteria, more insects. We're not like coming to home and see some smile not good in our home or something like that. So we're not support that. If they support it in a mosque or something like that, some mosques stop them like that, do it camping or something like camping lecture. This is not the purpose for the mosque. So I think the basic we do not support it at all. That's all.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Muhammad Al Rafai, I believe. Is that what it is? Left? Okay, thank you. Amdi Udan? Oh.
Assalamu alaikum and very good evening to you all. Honorable Mayor, I am against the proposal. I am giving you two references. One, when Hazrat Ismail alayhi salam is ordered from Allah to sacrifice his son, beloved son, he did not do it in his doorstep. He take his son very far from his house and he tried to sacrifice him. Number two, in Makkah Mukarramah, when we sacrifice a lot of animals at a time of Hajj, we take all those animals in very far from the population. We all Muslims know that. So I'm against, that's why, because we don't make our city very dirty or very bad smelly. We all Muslim people know that the dead blood smell is very harmful. When we sacrifice our animals here and there, in our doorstep, in our backyard, definitely, very bad smell will get later few days. That will create some germs, some insects. So I'm requesting you, everybody should consider this two reference and this thing and stop the ordinance. Thank you all.
Thank you. I have MD Abdul Shah. Abdul Shah. Thank you.
So he's against the resolutions.
Okay, thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you. Murad Saleh.
I'm here.
Thank you.
I request to be the last one.
Do you want,
Well,
is it
it's
regarding
not-
the
that's-
ordinance?
Yes. I'm not against, I'm not with, I just have to say like there is, you, in everything you said, there is the minority and majority rights, right? So I see the majority says no. What about the minority? Like, the minority? Do we consider them? Is that by the constitution? Is everyone has right? Is there is a regulation that we can make both works, both ideas happen? There is something. There is some things to make everything both happening, both ideas happening, the cleaning and the rights for the minority. Also, this is not the priority of the city of Hamtramck. As everyone knows, the city of Hamtramck is in the bottom of the line. Can we bring it up to the line and then think about this cleaning? Cleaning is meaning everything cleaning. The salarying is once a year. But the dumpster is every day, every time. The trash is in the city every day. Also, as my job, I do heating, cooling. There is the basement. Every day you can't step on it. From like dog urine, like waste and urine and cats and all this. Can the city consider that too? Just not slaughtering? Yes, slaughtering once a year. But there is daily things happening in the city.
Thank you so much. Mohammed Islam?
Yes. There are more Muhammad Islam. Is it pro-bridge?
It's Edwin.
Yeah. That's him.
Hello everybody, good afternoon, how are you? First of all, thank you everybody for letting me talk over here. Hello Mayor, he's my classmate, we graduated 2000 from Hamtramck High School, same time. So, first of all, I'm totally against animal killing, but because of, we are living in world-class country in America, we have the laws and regulations, and we have a department of USDA, which is Department of Agriculture, you know, they are the inspectors checking the animal before we slaughtering. Oh, I'm sorry.
This way.
Before we
Thank you.
slaughtering the animal. So we know which one is for kill and which one is not for kill. This is a very, very really health issue, guys, because when you kill the animal, there's a blood, there's a lot of contamination, there's a skin, and mostly, a lot of the garbage companies, they don't take it. There have to be a special way to dispose of. From my experience, I work with the USDA since 2012, and this is a really ridiculous, catastrophic resolution bringing. Because of we have a kids, we have a lot of artistic kids. I don't want them to see the animal slaughtering. They will get traumatized. They try to kill themselves when they see animals killing. And number two, as a doctors, everybody here, we educated. We don't want to eat something is not proper way to sanitize. Number two is there's a certain way you have to process the meat. When you process the meat, you have to put it in the chiller for 2 hours. They have to get cold because they make a lot of bacteria. And I can talk all day about this, but I know everybody's time is important. Everybody's tired. They have to go home. The most important thing is what we are doing is we are saying, hey, USDA government, you guys stay behind me and we make the rules right here. I'm not against the religion. I'm not against anybody's. I respect all the religion. But look at that way. From 52 states, all the people are going to come here to slaughter their animal. Everybody related to everybody. Hamtramck is a small city, but from New York, we have a guest. People are coming like a rain from New York. I build the houses. I'm a developer. I just spoke with Carolyn Faulkner yesterday. City manager knows how many houses I already built, brand new houses. Now I stopped buying the lots because I don't know the crazy resolution is gonna pass or no. Because people not gonna come buy, they're not gonna buy the houses for $350,000 because they're next door, they have to see animal killing. Another example, for 4th of July, we know there's no fireworks, but the police department cannot stop them. Every day there's fireworks, you know what I mean? So this is when we started, it's gonna be every day. It's gonna be very hard for DPW, they're gonna go crazy about this, they cannot control this, no way. And after that, all the residents have to bury the blood and everything in their backyard, just like a graveyard. Why we have a graveyard for? This is same thing. They're gonna put stuff in the backyard. The whole city is gonna be smelled. We cannot go outside the city because everybody is gonna think, oh, these guys are killers. Don't go to Hamtramck. I made the houses go more than $300,000. I did it myself. I built so many houses here. I did so many residents, so many construction. You know what I mean? I don't want to take everybody's time more, but this is a very health issue. I respect all the religions, but that's not the way to do this. Look at, we have 52 states. There's so many cities. I don't have it in my hand, but how come nobody does that? Only here in Hamtramck. Weird resolution. It's not for yourself. Do something good for the city, guys. I'm really honoring you. Please talk about how you can build the city, how you can make the towers, how you can clean the things, not going 100 years back. This is 100 years back. Even in our country, we have the area to take them. Be honest with you, this is whoever started, this is one of the worst. Since I'm living here since '96, I never seen any resolution like that. I think everybody is thinking about the health issue. Please think about your kids, your family, and the Hamtramck city. City of Hamtramck is in my blood. I live here since '96. And Mayor know we went to school together. I graduated same year with him. I don't know, I'm sorry everybody if I hurt anybody's feeling, but I respect all the religion. Even though we have a Jewish community, very big community, they do Hanukkah for the chickens, but they don't do it behind their houses because they don't want to traumatize their kids. This is going to be, people will stop eating the meat. The problem is they're going to get sick again the whole week, and the house is going to be, the whole Hamtramck city, the drain going to be stuck. That's hard for the DPWs, hard for the city employees. I know all the city employees working so hard to put the city together. They are really trying. I even talked to all the USDA inspectors. They are going to be so crazy about that. They're talking about it. And animal lovers, they're going to come against the city. This will be crazy. Every Eid, you're going to see week before animal everywhere. Everywhere in the porch, everywhere. Instead of, I could not explain to you guys. Instead of like you walking with the kids, you're gonna walk with the animals, you know. Thank you, everybody. I think everybody got my understanding. I'm really sorry if I hurt anyone. My name is Mohammed Islam. Assalamu alaikum.
There is dogs and cats in the street.
Because you're a businessman,
No,
that's right.
hey, keep it down, please, keep it down.
Please.
Ahbab Tamim, Edwin. Ahbab Tamim.
Good evening, everyone. I'm against with the killing animals like nearby us, knowing us like it's gonna be affecting our community and if we go out somewhere else smelling bad and everything in summer, we go to place like in early everywhere smell very bad. So I'm against with this.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank
Have a good night.
Ajmal Ali, Edwin.
Excuse me. He wrote my name, his name after me, so I think there's some problem.
They're not in order, sir. I apologize. What is your name? I can put you next if you're in a hurry.
You
Okay.
can see the other side of the paper.
No problem. I got you.
Can
Okay.
you please
I
take the 2
just-
minutes,
I-
yeah, because people like me are
You'll be
getting
next, sir.
2 minutes, okay?
No, after Ajmal, you'll speak. I'll call you up next,
And he
sir.
asked him to give everybody 2 minutes because 2 minutes.
It's not
No.
2 minutes, it's
It can't.
unlimited.
That's why I say can't.
It's an open hearing.
We do it right now, we'll get it.
No.
Public hearings are always unlimited.
This is the law.
It depends on where you checked your box of where you want to speak. You checked the first box, that was a limited time, sir. Please.
So he's against this resolution.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right.
Can I come forward?
Yes, you said it's Muhammad Islam.
Yeah, thank you, I will take my time. Good evening, everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am against the proposal. I am a Islamic resident, Muslim by faith. And I don't want to repeat those things. Who oppose this proposal, I think that will be a waste of time for everyone. Just want to say a few things. Some people mentioned here the freedom of religion. We have the freedom of religion here. We can say our prayers. But we cannot force others to say prayers like in some countries, some Muslim countries. We can fast in Ramadan, but we cannot force these things to other people, like in some countries in the world. Also, we can sacrifice animals here in America. There is no problem with that. Only we have to do it in a regulated way, in designated places. So there is no question that our freedom of our religion is at stake. It is okay. Therefore, yeah, I am opposing this proposal. Also, I want to say that I talked to some people in my family, my relatives, people of my age, even younger people who will live here in the future, in this city, in this country. Most of them, they didn't find any logic in doing these things. And like me, they also were telling that why our city leaders, they are not focusing on some more important topics, problems, like speeding, like the nasty streets, like these kind of things. Maybe some few other things are there, but these are the most important issues for this city as of now. That's all for this evening. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mom. Noor Ali?
Hello everyone, peace be upon you all. My name is Noor Ali. I'm Director of Safe Spaces with CARE Michigan, and I'm here to talk to you all about the animal ordinance. So we have been contacted by concerned community members in Hamtramck that are disappointed by the current ordinance as it stands. It seems that it is calling for a complete prohibition of religious slaughtering. This is a violation of the U.S. Constitution. We are asking for an amendment of the ordinance where religious rights of people are met, as well as the rights of regulations here in the city in terms of cleanliness and sanitation. The city has a right to regulate religious slaughter to account for legitimate, compelling government concerns, so long as the manner of the regulations is narrowly tailored to address the compelling interest. We are disappointed by comments made that claim that the sacrifice of an animal on Eid al-Adha is not obligated in Islam, where in fact it is. This is not a disputed thing within the religion. Furthermore, it is as per the legal standard, it does not need to be compulsory practice for it to be protected by the law. Even if something is encouraged, such as the killing of an animal at the time of marriage or of a newborn, that is still protected by the law. And we are calling for that protection as well. We want to know what sort of regulations will take place should this ordinance continue on as it is. How will citizens obtain permits? How costly are they? And does it make it inaccessible for people with more modest means? We would like to know if people will be allowed to even slaughter an animal should they not be able to fill a time slot for someone to come out and inspect the area. Is the argument that if someone can't rush to City Hall and make an appointment, are they not allowed to do their religious obligation of slaughtering on Eid al-Adha? Should they wait another day, another 2 days, however long? This is, of course, again, an obligation of the religious rights of Muslims here. Islam is not a monolith, and even though there are people here who have said that it is not necessarily required, even though the CARE Michigan stance and the Islamic stance is that it is Sharia, it is required that we do it to commemorate the dedication Prophet Abraham, peace be upon him, showed for his son Ismail. So we are asking that the City Council works with CARE Michigan to amend this ordinance. CARE Michigan is fully prepared to take legal action should the City Council fail to take the opinions and desires of the citizens into account. We believe there are less restrictive means of protecting the interests of the city as it pertains to religious slaughter, and that it can be enforced in the way that all other ordinances related to rubbish and other harmful materials are enforced when there is an issue that is brought to the attention of the city. We welcome the opportunity to discuss and work with the city of Hamtramck in the same way we have worked with them previously for years. In terms of the complaints that citizens have brought up here and prior to this meeting and multiple city council meetings that I have watched online myself, we would like to have this information that these children are so scared of the slaughter that they even go as far as killing themselves. We do not have any statistics on that sort of thing, and that should be provided from the city if they are planning to go through with the current ordinance as it is. There is no reason for religious slaughter to be prohibited. It is protected by the U.S. Constitution and Michigan law. This is something that is done in other cities where Muslims are not even the majority. Muslims are protected in other cities, and they deserve to be protected here as well. The citizens of Hamtramck deserve that right. As a person born and raised here in Michigan, I have memories of classmates of mine going up north and deer hunting, which obviously my family did not partake in, but even my next door neighbor did. I have vivid memories of seeing deers on top of cars that were completely mutilated, and deers in the backyards of neighbors where their fathers would cut up the meat and skin the animal. This is not a new practice that is done, and this is not a practice that is only done by Muslims here in Hamtramck or the state of Michigan. I am hopeful that the City Council hears our plea, and I welcome working with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Is it Mali or Mahi Paki? Is that, please state your name.
Mahi Paki.
Come on.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Mahi Paki. I'm living at 2155 Belmont. I am opposed to this bill slaughtering animals in basement alleys or backyard will create a bad smell and can lead to disease. Also, the drains will be destroyed and back up. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Nasser Hussain?
Assalamu alaikum. Hello, everyone. A lot of contradictions. Nobody wants it. I talked to my neighbors. Nobody wants it. My children, only a few people will do it. So if a few people will do it, don't worry. And at the same time, they say no. If you let people do it, everybody will slaughter. They will come from New York, slaughter. It tells you the logic of people who are against it. They're just doing this for I don't know what. There are like 4 slaughterhouses in Hamtramck. They slaughter chicken. One of them is Bengal spices, and one of them slaughter sheep and everything. And I assume most people here, they haven't been here all year long. They came today because they've been sent by these businesses to make sure it doesn't pass. It will affect their businesses. They will lose money. I was amused by Bengal spices. People, they said they give him ticket. You know what they give him ticket? He would have the delivery at 4 a.m. He's been getting away with it for like 15 years, only because his brother was a friend of the old mayor. There was no enforcement until lately, and the smell was bad. At the same time, see what happens with Bengal spices, another one, Lamin spices, slaughtering house. People used to complain. They say they make smell and they noise. The city went to them, did they shut them down? No. They reached into an agreement where they reduced the noise and the smell. They got, I think, a big freezer where they put the carcasses in and everything was okay. So, and instead of just preventing everything, work with people. I'll give you an example. People speed in Hamtramck. Because a few people speed, we tell them, we're going to prevent people from driving in Hamtramck. Why? Because some people, they speed, they might kill people, they hurt people. No. People continue speed, and those who break the speed, you give them a ticket. Same thing here. You allow people to slaughter. If what people claiming is true, they're going to make a smell, they're going to make a bad situation, give them a ticket. $800 will make more money for the city. That's a good thing to do. Exaggeration. Blood will block the sewers. Doesn't make any sense. 4 slaughterhouse. Each day they slaughter hundreds and hundreds of chicken, tens of cows, and nothing gets blocked. Misinformation. Same thing, claiming natural meat or blood is toxic. You should be worried about the factories around you that's producing toxic fumes and killing people. People say, I don't want my children to see it. And the ordinance says it has to be out of view. No children will see it. Even they see much more violent things today on TV, on the internet. They say nobody else does it. You could go to New York City to have Yom Kippur celebration for the Jewish people of the Jewish faith. On the streets, on the sidewalk, they have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of chicken. They slaughter it not even in their houses, on the public street. And you could see, if you follow Facebook groups, you could see the videos they posted there. All lies are being spread. And I hope this resolution that you presented to be a compromise. In case it doesn't go through, we will put it for the voters to vote on it, but it won't be this resolution. It will be a much more lenient resolution. And we see what the majority says. I don't mind if the majority says they don't want it. But if they say they want it, it could be everywhere. Stores will be allowed to sell sheep, goats, like they used to do in the 50s, 30s, 40s. And we'll remove all restrictions. So it's up to you. You could choose this, or we'll have our resolution put in ballot. Thank you.
Thank you. Is Yoshiro Lee still here? No? Lynn Vazi?
Hello again, Mayor and Council. As we see today, and have seen since July 12th, when this was first brought up, this is a very nuanced discussion, and that has swung multiple different ways. In December, we have the language that is before you now with a compromise. And I just encourage you to be encouraged that even though this is long and tiring and challenging to sit through, that our community is here at a meeting. We'll look on the bright side with that. And I'm glad to see people engaged and involved in this discussion. And I just want to encourage you to really pay attention to the legal ramifications of however we possibly edit the resolution today, and really work to make sure that it's legally sound, because as other people have said, that we really can't afford lawsuits. Some people are very tired of this issue, of talking about it. But personally, I'd rather it be talked to until there's a resolution than just a quick fix slapped on it that doesn't really address the concerns of the community. And I also just encourage you to listen to the legal counsel that we have. We pay them big bucks to make sure that we are as kept as free from lawsuits as possible. So, no pressure, Odie.
There's no pressure. I get it.
Yeah. But yeah, so, yeah, just whatever you decide, really pay attention to the legal side. I know all of us have feelings involved, and sometimes you have to set your feelings aside, your religious preference aside, to make a decision that's the best for the whole community. Thank you.
Thank you, Lynn. Mr. Bill Meyer?
Well, Council Mayor, I remember when I was a kid, like 7 years old, maybe, then I used to visit my family on the farm. And, I used to watch how they slaughtered their animals so they could eat them. I mean, that's what we do. We all eat meat, but most of us eat meat, and we have to kill the animals before you eat them. And they let me kill chickens for the first time in my life. And the way they did it was they had a little stick, and they put 2 nails in it, and they put the chicken's head between them. And then they had an axe, and they just went chop, and the head fell off. And the chicken would get up and run around like this with no head on until it fell over and died. And then they take them in, pluck them, and eat them. It disgusted me when I saw that. I mean, I developed more compassion for animals. I kept eating chickens, unfortunately, because I love chicken. You know, so I just want to say I don't like the idea of killing animals, except for self-defense or in the best interest of society. Maybe it has to be done. And I don't think one person's religious beliefs should be imposed on any others. But I'm a meat eater, and like many of you, I don't want to be hypocritical here. I'd like to see the day when we don't have to kill other living beings in order to survive, including animals that share similar feelings of pain and suffering like we do. We have to concern about animals. According to some who practice Islam, slaughtering animals is a reminder that life is sacred. It was originally considered as a sacrifice, so others less fortunate or needed food were given food to survive. But times have changed now. We have other ways of helping people who are less fortunate than killing animals. And by being opposed to animal slaughtering, by the way, in Hamtramck doesn't necessarily mean you're Islamophobic. That doesn't go together at all. But I would like to help you resolve this issue and others that come before you, other issues that are difficult. Before you make important decisions, make sure you understand all the facts that you can get at, that you've talked to all the relevant parties and understood their positions, not just the ones who come here, which is exciting that we have people actually coming here and expressing their opinions. It's not usually this full at council meetings, and this is what the democratic process is. But when there's only 2 people here, you still have to go out and find out what people are feeling. And you have to make sure that you've listened to your constituents and that your associates in the council with open ears for each other. And that you know the possible consequences if this resolution passes or doesn't pass. I hope you are aware of this, because we learned about the parking meter thing. A lot of things you make decisions on, it kicks you back later. So prepare for any backlash. And then also be respectful of each other by knowing Robert's Rules of Order, which usually has a big book here so that we all run this process correctly. So this issue, like most others, have different areas of concern. One is how it's going to affect the safety and security of the community. That's a very vital concern, which most people have been talking about. It's also how will it benefit or be a detriment to the city, the community, by having this. People have talked about that. It's very, very important to take into consideration. How many people are perceived to be in support of this? How many are against it? If you go to the ballot, if you don't go to the ballot, you don't know. So how will the process and the final decisions affect the working relationships between council, mayor, and other associates here, and between the public and the officials? And want to make sure, are people defending their position when you come to the vote? Are you defending your own personal interests, your own cultural beliefs, or are you considering the larger community of the whole city of Hamtramck, which you all each represent? So those are all factors that have to be taken into consideration, and more, I'm sure. But, so as I mentioned in the past, I'm very impressed with this working relationships in this council that you've developed since you got together. It's the respect shown to each other, and the community has not been seen in these chambers for decades. This is definitely the best that I've ever seen since I've lived here, as far as letting everybody talk and present their point of view with respect. You know, the rational, clear-minded process of dealing with critical city issues is the basis for solving our problems. This animal sacrifice issue seems to be a small, less important issue. That it should be secondary to most critical issues, but obviously it's important to many people, and they wouldn't be here. And we're watching how you proceed in the democratic process to be fair, because it's going to apply to every other issue that comes up. In the last council meeting, I got the impression that the mayor and a select committee met and researched ways to find a compromise. And you presented it at the last council meeting. And I think this was a valiant approach, hoping that both sides, all sides would accept this willingness to compromise. If one side doesn't want to compromise, then you're out of luck. Because there's strong feelings of both sides in the community. I respect each of you, and by possibly taking the opposite position, that what I'm going to say, I don't want to disrupt any relationships or friendships with anybody, but I think we must be focused on maintaining a constructive and working relationship with everybody and with the public in order to go forward. That's why I feel that this issue should be put on the ballot. The public should vote. Remove yourself from being the individual that made this decision, to be attacked by the public or whatever. I think the public has a voice. They've made a voice here. I think the best way, the most democratic process, would be to find a way to let everybody in the city have an option to vote yes or no for this. So I'm recommending that you vote, you have to vote no on this ordinance, and then make a motion to put this ordinance on the ballot. That means that frees you, that doesn't mean you have to take sides in this ordinance. It means you are against deciding it here, you're for deciding it in the public venue. Okay, so finally, I want to say that I've heard of a second version of this ordinance that most public doesn't know about. This ordinance, I think the council was given copies of it, and the public doesn't realize that this new version, which I'll call version 2, which you can consider, may not happen or not, but I guess you can consider this, as opposed to voting this one down and making a second version. Either one, I think, should be considered to be put on a ballot. But for the public's knowledge, this new version that's being offered eliminates some very important facts that we're all concerned about. One is it removes the 3 conditions that you have to reach to do this. One is to provide a day and date for your slaughtering to the city, get a permit. The second thing is to have a sanitation inspection after it's done. And the third is to keep it out of the view of the public. These 3 have been removed from this new version. And I have a feeling this was for fear of lawsuits. I think our attorney was involved in trying to rewrite this so that we can possibly avoid lawsuits. But as we've heard today, you're going to get lawsuits from any side. You're going to get lawsuits from the animal rights side, you're going to get it from the Islamic side, you're going to get it from different side. I think trying to find a compromise is the best way, and I think you did a good job coming up with a compromise, version 1. But if you go to version 2, that still should go to the public, and that still should be decided by the people. Because we don't know. Some of you have told me personally that only 2% of the people in this city would support this. Well, maybe someone else would tell me at least half the people might support this. So we don't know how many people. We've heard a lot of people speaking here, and these are the ones who came here because they have strong feelings about this issue. There's many who, like they said, don't speak English, so they don't come in to give their point of view. So we really don't know what the real balance is in the city. If 100 people came here and spoke opposed to it, that doesn't mean 100% of the city are opposed to it. So I think to be the safest bet would be to put it on a ballot. That's my proposal. Vote no, and then vote to put it on a ballot. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Abdul Khalid?
Yes, good afternoon again. This revolution is a revolution about this two slaughterhouse, which that gives longer speech, which is one in email, Bengal Spice, and other one is colleague. They said all these things because of their sake of their business. They want their people to go to their place. So they want to keep talking not to allow this. Like I said, this is our religious part, and we need to practice, and this is our constitutional right. Those people who are mostly here, they talk against it. They are saying about environmental issue, smell, bacteria. None of bring any of the evidence. I don't ask for that 20 years back, 5 years back, 10 years back. Just bring it for if you have any issue, any proof from last year, a drop of blood or bacteria, or any of your kids get mesmerized or get fainted to see. No, they are just talking from their tongue. None of them have this proof. So this is not we should look at for them. They are just people talking about. They have no knowledge. They say they don't have no proof. Why I say something? So for asking is for this regulation to pass it. And I hope all this council member will pass it. And if they do, like I said, if this is good. If it's not, then we are going for lawsuit. This is our constitutional right. And any those who support us, the council member, we are supporting for their future in election. And one of our council member, even if we search and we have all evidence, he is not even residents from the Hamtramck. We are not going hard. If it's go against, we're going to look for the deeper investigation. So I hope all this member will pass this regulation and just finish this issue for the slaughtering. And it's good for and being practiced for many years in Hamtramck. Nobody had any issue until the member bring this issue, and we have no proof for any mess. So why you go for this illusion things? Then we're gonna have a blood, the bacteria things. This is completely illusion. This is baseless for their talk. So please support and pass this resolution. Thank you.
ياسر آغا.
السلام عليكم مرة ثانية. لما نتكلم عن القانون شيء ولما نتكلم مثلا عن الانتخابات شيء. إذا حبيتم تنزلوها بالانتخابات أهلا وسهلا، نزلوها ونزلوا العلم بالانتخابات. نسحب العلم من هذا اللجنة ويكون هناك تصويت. هذا شيء. الشيء الثاني الأخوة اللي ضد الذبح لابد إنه نحن نعرف حاجة اسمها القانون، الدستور. لو أن القانون هذا قلنا على الأغلبية أو كذا، هل كان في مسجد الآن في أمريكا من الأغلبية المسلمين ولا غير المسلمين؟ بالتأكيد إنهم أغلب المسلمين. هل في كنيسة في أمريكا؟ طبعا ما فيش كنائس. فلو فتحنا الباب هذا سنفتح باب كبير من الفوضى يعني إلى ما لا نهاية. الأمر الآخر أنا سمعتم فيه إشاعات الله أعلم. أنا أريد من العمدة وأن يتحقق من الموضوع هذا ويتابعه، إنه في هناك يعني الإيميلات التي ترسل إلى هنا يعني ترسل من كمبيوتر واحد، من شخص واحد أو من شخصين. فأنا أشتكم لو حتى ترجمة لهم يعني وتحققوا من الموضوع هذا. الأمر الثاني أعتقد أكتفي، أنا أحتفظ بعض الكلام لا بد. إذا كان الآن المحامي جاهز من منظمة كيف، والآن القانون بينكم والكلام. إذا كانوا أقلة يا أخوة بدون ما حير ضبط، إذا كانوا أقلة الذي يذبحوا خلاص اتركوهم اتركوهم مارسوا القانون حتى لا تخسر السيتي مئات الآلاف من الدولارات. شكرا.
Thank you. Is it Sugar
Al-Madrahi. Yeah,
Thank you. That's the name I was trying to say.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. I spoke of what I was trying to make slide. Oh, sorry. Everyone, he trying to make his own. So everyone has to be above the law, right? Members, sorry. Okay. I talk about three things, that's all. Clear. When we thinking, you know, like get together and have the city clean, you know, and thinking about the flag, what they did in Yusuf Campbell, and thinking about the meters, thinking about clean the city. You know, we have facility for that, kill the lamb stuff. So I'm against what they thinking. There's two people, the one bought that in here, you know, and they're making a drama. You know, we against that. Thank you.
Thank you. Hamid Al-Hajjaj.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. وعليكم السلام. أنا مع القرار الذي يدعم الحقوق، وإحنا بشريعتنا لنا حق، ومن حقنا إن إحنا نأخذه، بس وفق ضوابط وشروط. النظافة، يكون هناك باقات مخصصة للنظافة بحيث لا تكون هناك رائحة، وكل واحد يمارس حقه الديمقراطي. الدستور كفل لنا ذلك، وشكرا.
Do they need to be translated? I mean, whatever he just said.
If you want to say where he stands, if you want to say yes or no.
Well, okay, so the last speaker just said we have to guarantee that we practice our rights, but with regulations. That's the main thing he wants. Sheikh Yasser said, because he talked a lot, we didn't translate. He said if you wanted to be put in the ballot, he said put the LGBT flag with that too. And just to clarify one point, few speakers spoke in Arabic earlier and were pointing to us that we ordered flying the flag in Joseph Camp. We talked about that a lot. It was not a decision by the City Council. It was the Human Relations decision, and we talked about that. We had nothing to do with that issue that happened earlier. So do not keep bringing that issue and accuse us that we decided it. We did not decide on the flag issue earlier that happened last year. It was the Human Relations, and we talked about it, and it was decided without a meeting, so there was an issue also with the quorum. Sheikh Yasser thinks that most of the emails were sent from one computer, and he wanted that to be investigated, thinking that it's just one person or one family that sent all these emails. And again, we do not, if you want a fair survey, it has to be done randomly, random samples, because this, you know, I heard, you know, like 5 people from the same family twice. So yeah, this is not a random, fair survey, we know that. But he's thinking that we should investigate that, which this is like 100 people who came or sent emails. Does not fairly represent the population of Hamtramck, we know that. And, but we thank them all for coming and sharing their opinion with us. And we listen to every single person and we take it into consideration. And he said that some people think it's only 2% of people who practice it. He's thinking, then why exaggerating this and making it sound like the city will be a mess if it's only 2% of people. That's basically what he was saying.
Thank you. Jamal Al-Ghazali. oh, that was not Jamal, that was getting up, okay. Who's me there? Okay. No Jamal Ghazali? Okay, next. Al-Walid Saleh. 3, 2, 1. Hussein Al-Shayef.
السلام عليكم. نحن عرب مسلمين جينا من أقصى الأرض ونحترم قوانين الولايات المتحدة الأمريكية فوق رؤوسنا، ونحن ملتزمين بالقانون الأمريكي ونريد النظافة لمدينتنا. أما اللي يبغى يذبح فهناك في فارم وهناك في مراكز بلدية يذبح كبش ويروح البيت. والسلام عليكم. كثر الكلام ما قل ودل.
Thank you. You want to translate, Mayor?
Yeah, he said we came from overseas. We respect the law and order in this country that allowed us to practice our religion, and whoever wants to slaughter should go to designated areas.
Thank you. Abdulaziz Al-Ghazal.
Thank you, everyone. First of all, I think we heard a lot of talking about this case. Most of them said no, yes, like a few people said yes. But if we discuss how is the city alleys, if the city council like just take a few minutes to check how is the trash all over, and the sewer already bad. So if we allowed people to do this one in their houses, I think it's gonna be like, it causes for a lot of diseases. Because there is like, we're in a bad city, seriously. Like if we compare this Hamtramck with others or with Detroit, I don't know, sometimes they come in late to pick up the trash. If they leave it for a couple of days, like later, it's gonna be like worse. Please, before we decide to do this thing, we should think like seriously about this case. A few people need to do it, they can do somewhere else, like how we do like all the time. We've been here since 2011, and some people been here since like for 20 or 30 years. They've been doing this like religion thing. But the law allowed him to do it. There is nothing wrong, but like in special places. If we allow it to do this one in a city, it's gonna be worse. I think everybody know that, but I don't know why they're trying to argue with the government or with the city. Thank you.
Thank you. Mohammed Samad? Mohammed Samad? No? Okay, how about Shaukat Rahman? Shaukat Rahman? No? Is it Mufizam Rahman? I'm assuming they're probably together, and they're both not here. Zabed Shiraz? No? And Hamiyad Al-Jamali?
Good evening. My name is Hamiyad Al-Jamali. First, I'd like to start by thanking the mayor for appointing me. Secondly, I agree with the mayor. I think we do need a compromise. I feel like each side does have their points, and each side is correct in their own way, and their concerns are important. I feel like the compromise is the best way that we could solve this issue, because if it goes to ballot, it's going to go one way or the other, and there will still be people who will make this an issue. So I just wanted to say that. That's probably the best way to do it, and I just hope that we can, that the issue of regulations can be discussed with community members, and CARE said that they would help with that, and I feel like that's just what needs to be, we just need to be transparent about which regulations are going to be enforced, how will they be enforced, and just pretty much agree on a middle ground, and I think that's the best way to do it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, that's all for public comment.
All right. Can we get a motion to?
As you're aware, the city administration works really hard to try and realize council and mayor's vision on all of our ordinance, all of our policies, and so on and so forth. We've come up with many drafts to do so and continued to even work on it over this past weekend, even after the last draft was out before us. I would like to give our city attorney an opportunity to speak on the latest draft that we have come up with. We did provide each of you hard copies of the same, and the city attorney is prepared to speak about it and read it in its entirety if necessary, so that the public is aware of what the city administration and the city attorney proposes. As always, we don't propose things based on ideology. We propose it based upon what we believe is in the best interest of the city as far as liabilities and protections for the city. Ode, if you will.
Thanks, Max. So that's correct. I'm your legal counsel. I'm turning into a political question, it seems, but really this is kind of a legal question here. And we put together some new language, but before I read the language, I just want to preface it by saying, I think many people might be surprised to know that public animal sacrifice is allowed in every city in the state. In fact, the state of Michigan allows it. There's a statute that allows animal sacrifice. Not only that, but the federal government allows it. There's a statute in the federal government statutes that you can look up. Same thing. So what we've done here is basically codified almost the exact same wording as the state and the federal government. Just fit it to our specific statute. So it is already allowed. We're just reinforcing that. We've removed all the restrictions, because, and I'll get into that in a second, as to why we had to remove the restrictions and why I believe that's the correct legal avenue to take. But I'll read the statute first, so everybody has an understanding of what we've changed it to, and then I'll explain why. And remember, this is almost the exact same thing as the Michigan statute and the federal government. It says, nothing in this chapter shall be construed to prohibit, abridge, or in any way hinder the religious freedom of any person or group. Notwithstanding any other provision of this chapter, ritual handling of or other preparation of livestock for ritual slaughter are exempted from the terms of this chapter. For the purpose of this section, the term ritual slaughter means slaughter in accordance with the below definition. To conform with the provisions and intent of this chapter, animals not previously rendered insensible and to be slaughtered in accordance with a humane method as defined in the definition below shall be slaughtered immediately following total suspension from the floor as otherwise prescribed by city and state law, which is what's done at a slaughterhouse. Next page is the definition of humane method. It says humane method means either a method whereby the animal is rendered insensible to pain by mechanical, electrical, chemical, or other means that is rapid and effective before being shackled, hoisted, thrown, cast, or cut, or a method in accordance with ritual requirements of any religious faith whereby the animal suffers loss of consciousness by anemia of the brain caused by the simultaneous and instantaneous severance of the carotid arteries with a sharp instrument. And then we included residents conducting ritual religious sacrifice shall dispose of all waste in accordance with local, state, and federal law. So, why do we do this? Well, it's not really our choice. It's actually the Supreme Court has come up with a ruling in 1993. There was a case called Lukami Abalu, the Church of Lukami Abalu versus the city of, I can't remember, Hialeah, the city of Hialeah in Florida. So this church wanted to open a church in Florida, and part of their religion was animal sacrifice. The city of Hialeah didn't want animal sacrifice, didn't want that church, and didn't want that religion in their city. So they passed ordinances very similar to the one we were trying to pass originally that restricted animal sacrifice in numerous ways. In fact, much of the reasons that they restricted it were echoed today, such as children viewing it, or the remains being disposed improperly, the ickiness factor, you could call it, anything you want to, anything you've all said today has been echoed in that ruling. So what did the Supreme Court say? The Supreme Court said that when you're trying to regulate religious freedom, and according to the Free Exercise Clause of the Constitution, which people call freedom of religion, if you're trying to regulate religion under that, in this specific type of case, it has to have a compelling governmental interest, and it has to be narrowly tailored. So that sounds like it gives us an avenue here to restrict in a narrowly tailored fashion. However, they go on to say that it should be only allowed in very rare cases. So I ask you, if in 1993 they had almost the same facts as we have today, and the Supreme Court said that the ordinances restricting animal sacrifices were overturned, then what's been changed today? What different argument are we making than was made then? There aren't any. Unfortunately, for those who do not want animal sacrifice to proceed, we can't do anything about that. The Supreme Court has already stated that we can. If you want to protest, you can go to the Supreme Court, state legislature, Congress. we're really either, we could stay on mute today. No, thank you. We could stay on mute today and remove all mention of animal sacrifice in our ordinance and pass it without that, and it would continue to be allowed under state law, federal law. So we don't even have to mention it. But if we did, which we are today, and I read it, it's just reiterating the state and federal law. So putting it on the ballot would only serve to continue this discussion further. And then once, let's say it was passed through the ballot and restrictions were allowed, we'd get a lawsuit, it'd be overturned as unconstitutional. Whatever avenue you take here, restricting animal sacrifice has been done before. And as the Supreme Court said in '93, you can't do it. Part of the reason, I'll explain, is because animal sacrifice or animal butchering is allowed in a commercial fashion. I heard mentioned that there's 4 different places in the city of Hamtramck that do butchering. But if they're allowed to butcher, then people should be allowed for a religious purpose too. And I know it might not make sense to everyone, but it is what the Supreme Court said, and I urge you to read their judgment. So I can only see one path for the Honorable Council and Honorable Mayor here, and that's to, well, 2 paths. One, to codify the state and the federal language the way I read it, or just eliminate any mention of animal sacrifice, pass this ordinance, and allow it to go on as it has always gone on, and since '93, protected by the Supreme Court.
Do we have a right to
No. Can we please close public comment before we?
Yep.
carry on?
Can I get a motion to?
I'll motion to close the public comment.
Second.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Mayor, as the city attorney said, it's the city administration's best advice to adopt the language our city attorney has researched and provided to you tonight as read in its entirety, and move on.
And I'd like to just add, I'm sorry, because I didn't include this previous. I know there are worries about children witnessing it done on, for example, someone's front lawn, they go out and there's children on the street playing, and that's not conducting yourself in a manner that's under state and federal law, or city ordinances. That's a disturbance of the peace. You're disturbing the peace around you, that's a misdemeanor. So that can't be done. Or, for example, I've heard complaints that once it's done, some people have the entrails put in their garbage instead of like people are disposing of the entrails in their neighbor's garbage. That's a trespass, that's a misdemeanor. If something like that happens, report it, we'll ticket them, and we'll prosecute them. But otherwise, animal sacrifice not just should be, but must be allowed.
Mr. Chair.
We need to motion
We closed it already.
We closed it
Not
already
closed.
to discuss.
To discuss.
That's why I'm going.
All right,
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to discuss.
Thank you.
Okay. Go ahead.
Mr. Chair, with permission, what our city manager and attorney spoke, maybe we have to amend this resolution, which was modified by the attorney, and feed it to the suitable and comfortable for everybody. So Mr. Attorney, should we do amendment right now?
Yes, I think you should amend it to
this one,
to the one that I provided. And I actually do want to include a removal of the penalty for religious sacrifice.
Okay. So, Mr. Chair, I like to amend the resolution drafted and again remove the couple of sentence from the attorney. So I like to amend this resolution as it is, right?
With just the elimination of Part B of Section 90.999.
Okay,
That was
Part B.
incorrect.
Okay. With the eliminating Section B, I like to amend this resolution.
Second.
I got a second.
All right.
Now discussion.
Okay, so we, in the beginning, I want to thank everyone who came today and voiced their concern. I have heard those over the past month or past several months from so many people. I attended so many meetings for community leaders and for people, and I heard from everyone. And I know there is a division and there's different views in the community. But I also heard from the specialists, the legal people, that's why I was concerned. I know that emotions is involved in so many public comments today. Some of them are very enthusiastic with or against, but also it's my responsibility to protect the city from any lawsuits or from, financial loss or, and even our reputation. So I had to talk to so many lawyers. Basically, the main one is our attorney, and he also discussed and did so much research. We are not just doing it just for fun or based on our beliefs or emotions. So after hearing from our attorney and from people who know the law better than us, that's why I suggested a compromise. Compromise that can take into consideration people who are worried about the safety and cleanliness of the city. And we heard multiple views. Some people saying it's only 2% of people. Some people, I heard that there's only 10 people who sacrifice in the city. So they are saying, okay, then those people have been doing it for years, and maybe it's the same people who could continue to do it. I myself, if this passes today, will advocate for people to go outside of the city to slaughter, even if it's allowed. And I heard from some sheikhs who fight so hard for it, saying that they will take themselves to the farm and do it there, even if it's allowed here. So we have a responsibility to educate the community. This is a common sense, respecting your neighbors, proper waste disposal is a must. Hiding it from public view is a must. You cannot just do it randomly in the street. And if the majority of the people taking the other view are saying the majority of the people don't want it, then I'll recommend that they don't do it, so we don't have a mess in the city. And we will educate the other side not to do it either, even if it's allowed. But people who are very passionate about it and very enthusiastic and they enjoy practicing it themselves, I mean, as you heard from the attorney, we cannot prevent them from doing that. And so our research and compromise came based on legal advices, not based on emotions and just self-interest or anything of that. So again, I personally would support whatever the advice of our attorney and follow it.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem.
So, lots of residents here today. I'm sorry, I have a high pressure today going on. I came only for this one. My pressure was 193, 135, still or something. So, emergency. I was going and city manager picked me up from the home. Some residents has a question about this one. Why we brought it here, wasting our time? Yeah, it is true. Like attorney said, it was already there. I mean, longest councilman is here. It is already there. So suddenly, our committee tried to prohibit what was there already. That's the way issue started up. When you try to close the door, somebody inside, and he want to try to get out from the home, either window or the other way. If he did not close it, it was easy path to go and come. So when we try to close the door, then somebody say, cares or other groups say, hold on. They try to close the door for us. Now we want to find out the window to go. So that is exactly happened. Those things came to the resolution as it is today. So again, we have spent a lot of time for this. We have to, no matter what, when I had oath, I promise I'm going to support best interest of my Hamtramck city. It is not the personally yes and no. It's not. What decision I'm going to make today, I'm supporting my Hamtramck city protecting my Hamtramck city, protecting my residents, going after lawsuit, get increase the property tax. So I'm protecting from all those things. That is my responsibility. That is my duty. That's why I'm here today to support it. And again, personally, I'm not gonna do myself. There is some criteria we did it, but I cannot prohibit somebody else to not doing this. No, I'm not doing. It's okay. I go somewhere else. But somebody wanna do it, they have right to do their practice. Some residents, some of the my friends here, only couple of houses gonna do it. So there is couple of house cannot make the Hamtramck city blow up with the nasty blood contamination. No, because it's already 4 slaughtering house in this city. If they're not contaminating, how are this couple of house gonna do it? Second, there is the criteria we set up. You have to have the permission. You have to have that's why city know exactly which house is that doing that. There is another good news. Mr. Saleh Al-Jahim, he donate $1,000. I donate $1,000. Some other people want to donate lots of money to bring the big container, keep it in the designated area at the corner. Then within few hours, they have to take everything to the container, and there is the time limit within 5 or 6. How we city gonna set that up? Within this hour, that container has to go out from our Hamtramck city. The house, we get a permission to do this. We personally, city and community, we're gonna make the committee, observation committee, like a organization like a CARE, come with us. That's why nobody can sue. We're gonna go a spot check to the backyard or where you did it. If any drop of blood over there we see over $700, there is the ticket ready. It could be the misdemeanor. So the people who gonna do this, they already know what kinds of system, criteria, everything we have to follow. So with all those, one of the gentlemen said we're gonna work with the goat or sheep. It's not. There is the time frame also. City gonna make it. There's the other thing. Long time ago, we approved the chicken. Nobody knows. And our city clerk never recorded that one. And I was here. I was against that. But it was passed. So I didn't see any chicken, and my kids are walking around with that one. But there is some chicken also. I see that. So the animal means animal. That there is a cat. Every day I see around my house 5, 10 of them. I enjoy with them. So they are the animal too. Excuse me. We cannot. So we have all the plan. Just want to tell the residents, we have all the plan. Is everybody not going to be doing that? There is a time frame. There is the restriction. There is the permission. So what I am doing today as a EU elected official, I'm going to protect my Hamtramck city and my residents. Thank you.
Anyone?
Okay, a couple of things, Mr. Mayor, with your permission. I know Mr. Mayor Pro Tem mentioned some of the restriction, but according to Bill Mayer, some of the restrictions have been taken away from this. So how the people know those are restrictions then? You know, we have to write it down, we have to show it to people, because some of the restrictions have been taken away according to attorney. So people also, secondly, according to Bill Mayer, I like the ordinance for the slaughtering. There's nothing wrong with it. You know, everybody has the right to do their religious practice. But according to Bill Meyer, the new draft did not publish to the public. So when they're speaking on the previous draft. So if he challenges that we pass something not been published, not been shown to the community, is there a violation for this? This is the attorney question.
No. This is a public hearing, we can modify it.
Modify anytime, any moment.
And in addition to that, our city attorney did read it verbatim.
Yep, he's already
in
did.
public as well. In public hearings past, public comes in and speaks to the ideology, we support, we don't support, we give their reasons, what they believe they want, and generally council then picks and chooses at that time what it is. So we're 100% within tradition of how we've done it.
Also, Mr. Mayor, when it comes to the sacrifice, what my point is, take from there, I hear about the USDA, I hear about the CARE, I hear about the attorney's statement. My belief is should have been apply all the legal compliances. We should find a designated area where we can do sacrifice the animal if someone wishes to do it in our city, and then they can bring it to their backyard or their garage and they do a barbecue and celebrate the celebration. Because celebration is not only when they eat. There is a celebration multiple days. We sacrifice when we put our kid's name. We sacrifice many other ways. So make sure all those been compliance. Make sure all it's been, as I said, I'm not opposed to the ordinance, but it has to be written clearly. Make sure people understand what they are hearing, because we have to value everyone. The people that take their time, came here, talked before us. They want to listen to them too. People that came in, they're supporting, even though they are look like minority, but we have to listen both sides. So we need to, how can we make this compromise, coming out with a good solution? My recommendation with our attorney, if we need to involve the state, we need to involve the state, involve the CARE, and get a final draft, and then we vote for it, or put it to the ballot if this is what council wish.
Mr. Chair.
So let me address that. So in this language that was written, it says for any religion. So we did not specify if it's for Muslim or not, in any kind of celebration. So it's open. With the restrictions that we put, it was the legal advice that it should not be written the way it was written, because it will be subject to lawsuit. Again, after so much research that our attorney did, he thought that it was a bad idea to write them the way it was written. Designation area, we talked about this last time so much, and we even called some investors to come and do, some people who have money to come and invest in that thing. But it's gonna take time. So we talked with each other that we can put this for 365 days of observation and evaluation. And if things turn out to be bad, it's always, the door is open to come back, reconsider, ban it, and I will be the first one to advocate for that if it doesn't work. But if it's allowed by the state and the federal with no restrictions, then just follow our legal advice, our attorney, and just give it a try.
Right, the only restriction is to humane method, it must be done in a humane method. So there is a restriction, but it's just the restrictions allowed, or that the state and the federal government thought comply with the Supreme Court ruling.
So would there still be a penalty then? If it was done in
Yes,
humane
there's a default penalty of a misdemeanor, even though we're removing that part B. If you're not doing it in a humane method, there is definitely a penalty, yes. And then, again, there's also ordinance violations if you're doing it in such a way that's violating the community health or safety.
Mr.
So what can we slaughter though? Is it a home or you don't specify?
Inside your home, as long as you're, or, I'm not gonna
Is there
actually, it's wherever they'd like to do it, as long as it's not in violation of our community health standards. That's the correct answer there. And basically, what that means is, as long as they're not,
street,
but as long as they're not, basically, causing, as everybody has, complained about already, issues with regards to the blood and the guts and all of this. I mean, if you're disposing of it in such a manner that's not in compliance with the law, we will ticket you. But that's not to say that we're restricting animal sacrifice. Anybody that violates that does such a practice is gonna get ticketed. Anybody that disturbs the peace is gonna get ticketed or arrested. So it's just a continuation of the law that's already there and has been practiced. So that's
Is it safety to do at home? So this is another question. I mean, I understand that the plumber came out and he's speaking about the plumbing issues. So.
I don't know anything about the plumbing issues or anything like that, but again, if you're messing up your own plumbing, you're gonna pay, I mean, in my experience, tens of thousands of dollars to fix it, so good luck.
But that's why I'm saying, why can't you make a designated area where you can go and
Well, a
slaughter?
designated area would be a violation of the First Amendment freedom of religion. So that's again part of that case, is that you have to have your restrictions be narrowly tailored. And in this case, it wouldn't be narrowly tailored saying that it has to be at a specific location, unfortunately. You'd be preventing at least some people of practicing their religion in such a way that they'd like to do it. So, no, I don't think it would be proper to restrict it to a specific location, unfortunately. Although I would encourage people, I would definitely, I think Councilman Hassan's pledge of $1,000 and another business, and anybody that'd like to do that, sure, and then provide a location and a means of private and clean and safe slaughter, that's fine. And that's more than encouraged, but we can't restrict it. We can't say that you have to do that.
Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Chair.
Councilwoman, and then you.
So really what it sounds like this discussion is coming through, and I'm talking like the entirety of this conversation from summer of last year up till today when we had a lot of public comments. I counted 40, but I think I missed some, so there might have been more than that for the public hearing, is that we have a very strong majority public opinion in one way, but is at odds with what the legal advice is. And that's really a difficult position to be in as an elected official, because we were elected by everyone. And we do want to do what the people say, but we also are held to the law. And if we are getting strong legal advice that what we wanted to do as the compromise isn't gonna work, then we have to reconsider, because we don't have funds. That's another thread that, you know, it's been coming up in comments on all sides of this conversation is, what about the lawsuits? Who are gonna pay for those lawsuits, right? And who is gonna pay for those lawsuits? I am, we all are, you all are, right? We're all going to be the ones that pay for those lawsuits if they come through. So what the decision we really have today is, do we want to risk the city getting sued to respect the majority public opinion, when we had someone in the room saying they're ready to do it and we know they have the power to do that? Or do we take another option? And the other option is either to pass this, which is the legal advice, or, as Councilman Mahmoud said, we could seek additional advice. So this is something we could potentially table it and talk about it more. Does anyone want to do that? I don't know. I will let the rest of my council members comment on that one. But from my position, those are our two options. We can either table it and talk more, or we can pass this today.
I'll
So
support to table it.
I am very curious to know what the rest of the people have thoughts on this, and see where we can get to a vote.
And you have to make a motion, I guess.
You gotta speak first. You gotta speak first if they want people to speak.
Sorry.
Good evening to you all. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you so much for being here today, given your available time. As the councilwoman said, we started this back in 2022 in July. It's been going on so much, and we're putting a lot of times. And as we heard from every angles of people, that some are against this and few of them are with this resolution. By all means, this already regulated by the Supreme Court. That's what I read. Since that, when the regulations is regulated by the federal, and we are law by citizen, and we are law by constitutions, we follow that too, not just a religious practice. This country allows us to practice, speak, do work and everything by the law, right? So I don't want to bring the religious between us. It's the law already in place, as you heard from our city attorneys. And I spoke with him multiple times regarding this, and that's why I always was not against it, because of my rights come first. Our rights come first. And then all the other things can be regulated, sanitizations, animals and other things that you talked about it. Everything that we eat and dispose has a smell, has cause of bacteria. So do we stop eating? No. So I'm not going to make a long story and make an example. We have already been talked about it, and it's been a long night. But we do have to respect the entire community. And I am elected by the communities. I heard and I represent the communities for the best of the communities, the betterment of the communities. And also faith by Muslim and born by Muslim. And that's my faith. And I will stick with my same faith. Thank you.
Mayor.
Yes, Councilman Sumaili.
Yeah, I like to thank everyone. They came, all my residents, all my community, and the attorney. And I know I hear for everyone. Some people they want the certified, and a lot they don't want it. I have to respect all my community. When I hear for a lot of people, they don't want it. I have to respect all my community. I just run for the whole the city. I work for the city to make safe, to make everyone is happy, is clear. And I like to do the motion to table this ordinance.
Mr. Chair.
So, just one second.
Yes,
So,
I like the motion to table it down. I got a second.
No, discussion not done yet.
First, we already have a motion to amend that they haven't voted on yet.
Yeah.
You have to do one motion at a time.
At a time.
Yes.
So it was suggested that we vote on whether we allow it or not. If the state and federal and the Supreme Court allowed it, then this is what we are voting on today. Then the small details for regulating it, the technical issues, we can proceed with it. This is not going to change whether you put it on the ballot
Yes.
or not.
Thank you.
The Supreme Court already said it's allowed. We cannot, even if it passed in the majority that we don't allow it,
Still
they're still
gonna
going to
come.
sue us. So can we vote on this
Yep.
and just, look at the law, the federal and state law, then we can come up with the details. And we can work as a community with the technical issues, how to regulate that, how to get, the small details, we can work on it. We cannot just keep the whole year talking about this, because it's obvious from the legal advice that there's no way we can ban it. There's no way we can prohibit people from practicing it. So the small details, we can keep working on it after we pass it. And then we are open to any suggestions about how to maintain safe and healthy environment and clean environment, and we can work on providing designated areas as a community. We can continue working for the next 10 years about these things. But is it allowed or not? The Supreme Court, federal, state law told you it's allowed. So what's the point of postponing it, and just keep meeting for hours and hours every day? Is this the only issue we have in the city? I mean, we have so many issues to focus on.
Yes.
I'm not ready to keep talking to people hours on the phone and meeting with them every day, because I already know that the community is divided. This sample is not fair, this sample that we saw today. We respect both views, but it doesn't represent the community. Because if you want the survey that is fair, it should be random. You pick people here and there. You don't send 5 emails from one family and say, oh, we are more. I heard 2 families, 5 emails from each family with the same last name. So you cannot say, oh, this reflects the views of the community. Maybe the community who wants it is the minority. Maybe that's true, but it's not based on what we heard today. But again, you cannot suppress people's religious practices because they are minority. So we have Hindus in this community. If we don't like what they do, can we vote to say, no, you can't practice your religion because you only represent 2% of the community? No. They have the right to practice their religion, whether you like it or not. So this is my view. Is it allowed or not? We already heard the legal opinion. Can we just finish with this issue and then work on the details for the next 10 years even? I'm okay with that.
Mr. Mayor.
Councilwoman?
I just want to have a few points of clarification so I think these are mostly all directed straight at you, so, ready? So is it possible for us to put this on the ballot, or would it will not result in any differences in the lawsuits?
It won't result in any differences of the lawsuits. Basically, whether it's on the ballot or not, it's unconstitutional to restrict religious sacrifice. So, restrict it in a means that's, I guess, more restrictive than what we already have with the humane method.
Right, so that's the second question.
If you are gonna add anything more than that, again, the Supreme Court said it would be, a restriction would be allowable in a very rare case.
Well,
nothing we've sort of put forth would make us a rare case.
So ultimately, what is here on this paper is the maximum, in your legal opinion, that we can have.
Correct.
And that means that any details that we're talking about further discussion on would not be able to be added to this at any point in time.
No, unless you want to make lawyers rich. I mean, it's very lucrative for lawyers to sue on both sides of this thing, and so I think somebody suing because we're not restricting enough is going to fail pretty quickly, and you're hard pressed to find an attorney to take that lawsuit because of how clear the law is. So an attorney's going to weigh whether their time is worth it or not, and to sue to force us to restrict animal sacrifice when the Supreme Court says it's unconstitutional to do so. That's just not even a lawsuit. But if you go ahead and restrict it in any fashion whatsoever, they're just going to be. It's a very simple lawsuit. You just you tell judge, the Supreme Court case says this, this, and this, as I've already mentioned, and they say, oh yeah, it does say that. All right, how much money do you want? Hamtramck residents, pay it. You guys don't want to pay your hard-earned tax money to lawyers or to a defendant who's just trying to get a payment or settlement. So avoid all that.
This is the last.
That's by adopting this and not restricting further.
And so,
Chair.
let me just say one word. So, okay, we heard it from the legal standpoint. I mean, why are we still, using our judgment based on who's gonna vote for us or who's not? This is something, we do the right thing, whether it's the majority support or the minority. I mean, this is the right thing based on the legal advice. This is not something we are willing to do it just for our own interest or because we like it or because based on emotional judgment. So if it's the worst case scenario, like I said, we rather get sued for giving too much religious freedom than to get sued for restricting people's freedom, religious freedom in specifically. So it's not gonna change. We can work on the details. We can still talk about the details. We all care about the safety and cleanliness of the city. We are not gonna allow any people, to randomly mess up the city. That's not gonna be allowed. We're gonna make sure that severe penalties will be, implemented on those people. And I'm sure it's not gonna happen, but just in case. So, this is not gonna change.
I have a quick question when you're done, thank you. When you're done, after you're done.
I'm done. I think it's
No,
clear.
just a quick question to attorney. So since you say this is the state law, regardless of voting or not voting is a state law. So if it's a state law, why even voting on it?
I said that.
That's what you said, right?
We can either adopt it, the language that is, or just eliminate section 90.30 or 030 in total, pass this animal ordinance, call it a day. Either way you can do it.
That's what my
Either way,
colleague.
it results in the same thing. This is the law. We're
It's
not
there.
overturning
Because
the state
people,
law.
our residents want to know for sure, is it allowed or not? Because it was vague in the beginning, it wasn't clear, and that's why it
So
was
this makes
brought
it
up
clear.
in the first time.
Right.
They want to know now, can we do it or not? Because based on the first original ordinance, you cannot bring animals to the city. So some people interpreted it that, okay, if you can't bring the animals, you can't slaughter them. So that's where it started. We want to make it clear for the people. That's why we brought it on the table.
And it's also making clear that cruelty to
It's
animals
everything
doesn't
there.
include the religious animal sacrifice.
Mr.
But
Chair.
it- According to state law.
I wanna access the another law today. I wanna suspend the discussion on a call for vote.
But you made a motion to them and
Yeah, so
adopted
you're
the
gonna be
amended.
voting on the amended
Amended
Yeah,
resolution.
yeah, that's why they are.
And
But
then
he-
motion again
For discussion again.
to discuss.
So he has motions on the table to amend this, and I
No,
second it.
it's already been amended.
No.
We didn't vote for the
Okay,
amendment.
go ahead, vote for amended one.
You amended one.
Oh,
and I
why we
voted-
doing all the discussion before
amendment.
amended one? I thought it was done.
You guys are discussing the
You
amendment.
can still make the motion to
Yeah.
suspend discussion again.
Yeah,
When we get to the
okay,
second-
right,
let's
right.
suspend
Okay,
discussion.
yes,
We're gonna do just
to
one
amend
amendment and
the
there's more discussion.
We can vote
There's
on
no
the
further
amended.
discussion.
now.
amended one, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Councilman Mahmoud.
I'm sorry. So we're gonna discuss with the amended one, that's
We
right?
are voting on the amendment that Hassan motion, which is amendment to
Attorney
the new
support.
language minus the penalty.
Right.
So we're amending to change
To
it.
put this one instead of the one that was in there.
Minus this very last sentence, this
Which,
be
by the way,
religious.
is just superfluous because there's already
In there.
a penalty involved.
Yeah,
If you're-
yeah,
if you're
it's already there.
proceeding, and not doing it humanely, there's an automatic misdemeanor penalty. So that's just why we didn't need to add that.
Yeah.
We're not voting on the final resolution, Mohit.
But we're voting on the amended one.
We're not
Which
voting on the
he
final
drafted, he
resolution.
drafted.
just
Oh, yes,
the
yes,
amendment
yes,
now.
yes.
And the one that I read.
Thank you, so he voted yes.
Okay.
Is that a vote?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Councilman Al Samiri,
Yes.
Councilman Hassan,
Yes,
Councilman Chowdhury,
Yes.
Councilwoman Jakowski.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, amendment to resolution 160.1 to add new language minus penalty is approved. So now we need to motion.
no, discussion, Mr. Chair, I'd like to,
You need a motion to
You're gonna
discuss?
motion.
Motion to open this discussion.
Yeah, you have to motion to discuss the amended resolution as it stands.
okay.
Which
Go
we
ahead.
already spoke.
Oh, no, that's
And then
not.
do the motion.
Right, right.
Suspend.
Just, we
Right,
have to
go
do
ahead, go ahead.
Okay.
Anyone?
Someone motion.
I'd like
Yeah,
to make the
make-
motion to open
To open?
discussion.
Okay, thank you.
Second,
Second?
Second.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair,
And then-
Yes, go ahead.
I'd like to suspend the discussion and motion to go the vote, please. We enough discussion
To
we
the
have.
voting.
Are you okay with that?
I'm fine, yeah.
Thank you. So we are going to vote on resolution 2022-160.1 with the amendment of the new language minus the penalty. Councilman Hassan,
Yes,
Councilman Al Samiri,
No.
Councilman Mahmoud,
No.
Councilman Chowdhury,
Yes.
Councilwoman Jakowski,
Yes.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
Mr. Mayor. Not approved until I say it's approved.
yeah, hold on, we do not have
Hold on.
it.
Mr. Mayor, resolution
Support the law,
22-160.1
support the
approved,
It's the only way, the law is the only
4-2.
way.
Thank you.
Yep. So we support
Okay,
both
Mr.
group, we balance it out.
It's glad it's over.
All right, thank you
It's
so much.
over.
Thank you so much.
You ready to go to the doctor now?
I,
You got 5 more minutes.
You wanna take a
2
break?
minute break, 2 minute break.
2 minutes.
You wanna take 2 minute break?
okay.
Thank you.
Folks, please, we're still in.
2-minute break.
2 minute break.
Can you get some water or something maybe?
Water, bathroom.
We're
gonna get you a mini fridge.
Yeah, man, my tea is cold.
You could probably get a microwave for around the corner, a little mini fridge.
Oh, we bring one in for elections, don't we?
Elections is a whole buffet.
I know.
All right, we resume our council meeting.
Are we ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we'll resume our meeting and we'll move on to the new business. We have item A, Resolution 2023-02, City of Hamtramck 2023 Poverty Exemption.
Mr. Mayor?
No,
I'm sorry.
motion?
Offer.
Any support?
I'll second.
Okay.
Sorry, getting ahead of myself. We have Conrad here to speak to this from our assessor's office. Conrad, if you
I close the doors.
Hello.
Hearing yourself.
Michigan statute requires a poverty exemption for those that can't benefit the public welfare or public good to offer a poverty exemption application. A lot of it is similar to last year. There are some quite large changes though. One of which is reducing the asset test. Last year the asset test had a maximum of $26,000 in assets. This year it's capped at $14,000. We had previously, in previous years, we've had a very large asset cap for the city compared to surrounding areas. We are trying to reduce that to be more comparable to southeastern Michigan and other communities, other cities as well. We've researched Detroit, Highland Park, Warren, Troy, and other communities. We are still above their asset level, but we've reduced it from what we had previously. So it's a $14,000 hard cap that goes to $10,000 asset limit for a family of one, $12,000 for a family of two, and then $14,000 for 3 and above.
And Conrad, that does not include the house in the first car, correct?
Correct. That remains the same. So the principal residence is excluded from the asset, from the list of assets, and we have kept the same thing as last year. So if the first car, one car is excluded from our asset test in the city. Other cities don't do that, but in this community, we do believe having a vehicle should not be a hindrance from you. It's almost a requirement in this area. So having a car should not go against you for having to travel to work or take your kids to school or anything else. We are also once again asking to go 115% above the federal poverty guidelines. So that's calculated in the resolution and the poverty exemption application. And we are also changing this year. Our recommendation is to change it. Previously, we had 100%, a 50%, and a 25% reduction for the poverty exemption. That's according to statute. We are recommending either a 100% or a 50% reduction. The state law does not prohibit us from doing that. It just prohibits us from having different percentage changes. If we did a request one, we have to have approval from the state. We, over the past year, from the applicants and those approved that got the 25% reduction, in our opinion, it wasn't an extremely high help towards them to see what their reduction in taxes are. So we're bumping up the reductions, getting rid of the 25% reduction, just 50 or 100%. And from ours, we are also bumping up the percentages for those reductions. So 0 to 70% of the poverty city guidelines now gets 100% exemption, 70% to that 100% gets the 50%. Those are the other changes. Everything else is roughly the same. Do you have any questions, concerns?
Mr. Chair, so why are you doing that? Just wondering.
Michigan statute requires us to.
Great, so that's why people know. So how is gonna affect any residents, you know?
If they...
Because you're doing, eliminating the option 4 to 2 of them?
Well, it's reducing one of the reductions, but now instead of having it at 25% reduction, it's either 50% or 100%. So as long as you qualify, we're asking to eliminate the 25% reduction to either give, as long as you qualify, it's either gonna be a 50% or 100%.
So they're getting more benefited, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Just wanna, let's do a camera and everybody there knows, okay, that's all.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes,
I just,
Councilwoman.
real short, Conrad and I talked about this last year, like right at the beginning of the year. I don't know if people remember, we actually passed this at the beginning of last year as well, and so we talked about it then, and we talked about it again this year. And I just really support the way that they're approaching it, and that they are trying to figure out how to get the most funding available to the residents who need this, without putting an extra burden on the rest of the city. And so I really respect the way that they're approaching it, and so I want to just give my support in that way to what they're doing.
Okay, thank you. All right, go ahead and vote.
Councilwoman Jakowski?
Yes.
Councilman Chowdhury?
Yes.
Councilman Mahmoud?
Yes.
Councilman Al Samiri?
Yes.
Councilman Hassan?
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, Resolution 2302 passed.
Thank you. Next one is Resolution 2023-03, Employee Personal Time Off Policy.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Discussion.
Just briefly, I think that this is just a really strong motion into, really valuing the employees at City Hall for the work that they do, because we do know that we can't pay competitive wages to everyone else, but what we can do is start focusing in on those benefits that are provided, and I really want to appreciate Councilman Mahmoud for coming up with this idea. And this was his brainchild, and while we supported him in developing the idea, this was something that he brought forward, and I am excited to support it.
Thank you.
Mr.
Go ahead, Mayor Pro Tem.
Mayor Pro Tem.
So, I don't have laptop with me and details, so about the vacation and how many days they can bank it.
In the entirety, they can hold it for 2 years in advance. So whatever they have for the full year, they can hold it into the next year. So, and everybody's a little bit different on this. Some people have 3 weeks, some people have 4 weeks, some people have a couple days left, maybe a day. So it's all over the place, really.
That one I have a problem.
Hmm?
If I have 4 weeks, if I can roll over 4 weeks next year, there's another 4 weeks, 8 weeks.
It doesn't keep rolling. It's just you can hold.
I know,
one-
it's,
yeah.
well, I'm just within 2 years, I'm doing the math.
Yeah, I mean, you potentially,
8 weeks.
yes, you could have 8 weeks.
So it is too much, 8 weeks. So that case, I'm gonna say, there is the law right now, use or lose. Same thing, my job. So I appreciate bring all those things for the employees, but we cannot give up to them as, I would say, for 1 week or half.
40 hours?
40 hours is the best thing to do it. That's why, no matter what, people have to take it, their vacation. So 40 hours, it might be fair for, to a startup. Previously, we don't have nothing. Right now, we have something, a startup. Later on, we can do a little more maybe, but I want to start with the 40 hours, if it's
If I
possible.
may, keep in mind, Councilman, that some of our staff is in this predicament because we are understaffed.
I know.
And they may have the available time, may want to use it, but either can't or are stay in because they want to make sure things get done right, so.
I know.
I mean, it is their time. I mean, I could tell you that this was very well accepted through City Hall when they seen it. So they do appreciate anything, of course.
Well,
but
40 hours is let me give you another scenario, I'm sorry. CFO, we just hired. Example, I'm not saying that. So he got 2 weeks minimum, okay. So if it was higher, whether December, he got some 2 weeks, and another 2 weeks, 4 weeks, just example, hypothetically.
It says 1 year seniority, right?
Right.
yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
let's after
I just
1
wanna
year,
make sure
no
you know.
problem. That one I'm glad, it was not my.
I just want to make sure you do, yeah.
So after 1 year, he got 4 weeks. He go 4 weeks back home, and I'm gone. At a time, you can go like, so those kinds of, that's why I try to do the 40 hours with my colleagues. At least I start with something, 40 hours bank, like a rollover. Things my idea.
Mr. Chair? Well, first of all, this is to motivate and encourage our staff. I have a quick question. This is applied to non-union workers or?
Correct, because
That's
the
only when
unions have
Their own.
negotiated on behalf of their members. A lot of them have ability to get payouts, get other things. I mean, everything's a little bit different. I mean, all our union contracts vary on this.
As the Mayor Pro Tem says, I was gonna mention that if you roll over 4 weeks,
Not 40 hours.
and
Oh,
I know,
sorry.
according to this one, this resolution is 4 weeks. And next year, they will have 4 weeks plus they will accumulate another 4 weeks by working. So it'll be 8 weeks accumulations.
8 weeks would be the most.
Most.
If they're allowed.
2 months
not-
off
not-
with a head of the department, would we be able to, function? That's, I can go on 2 months vacation, that would be nice. But as my colleague said, we need to be in considerations with this, with the being in mind that we are a small city, our staff is limited, and all those need to be consideration. Perhaps, so do we make an amendment to this to make it 40 hours, or we just?
Finish the
I tend to
discussion.
think, Councilman, if the staff hasn't used the time though, they're probably gonna get paid out on it. They're probably not gonna use it the next year.
No, but it still has to have the
I know,
law.
I'm just.
Yeah, 40 hours.
Mr. Mayor?
So that's what I think. Thank you.
So initially, 40 hours, I was like, oh yeah, great, that's what I get. I get 40 hours rollover at work. That's what I get at my job is we get 40 hours rollover every year, and it only carries over 40 hours. So like, I never could build to 80 or 120. It's only 40 every year. So I have to use it that next year, or because I can still only carry over 40 hours into the following year. So like, we just switched over in October. So my 2022 switched over into the 2023, our fiscal year's in October, so sometimes it gets confusing. But so when the fiscal year switched over, I carried over 40 hours. When summer comes around, if I don't take those extra 40 hours this year, I still only can carry 40 hours into 2024. But what I heard from our interim city manager, Max, is that we have a lot of employees who can't take that time. They don't have the capacity to take all of that time, so is it fair if we take it from them? What if we bumped it up a little bit to maybe like 60? And just give a little bit more credit to them in recognizing that we are short-staffed and there is limited ability for them to take those vacations and put an extra bit in there to make sure that they know we really do appreciate them and we want it, and we just still want it to be pragmatic.
I want to start with the 40 hours. I'm sorry.
Guys, go ahead and discuss. I bring the resolution. It's what everybody's opinions matter. It's not that what I said it has to be.
Mr. Chair, so we are already 3 of them we speak. If it is not,
I think you should place a motion, just motion.
well, no, Mr. I'm requesting
Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Mohid Mahamud, your opinion now. Since you brought the resolution, and we come up to the 40 hours, and Councilwoman tried to get little more. So we have to amend it, no matter what it looks like. We see the scenario and situation. So what is your opinion? And you can go ahead and amend it, and we can start on it.
Well, go ahead. Well, I'll amend it to 60 hours instead of whole vacation time to roll over on the resolution.
Mr. Chair, you want to go a 56? That's the way 2 extra days, 40 to 56. Math.
Like an extra 2 days.
That's why I could argue 56 because it's 2 days, but I could also 60 because it sounds
half
like
day,
nicer.
half
It sounds nicer.
Yeah, that's like an even number,
Yeah.
even Steven.
Okay, whatever you
Staff
guys.
appreciate anything you do.
Okay, go ahead, amend it, Mr. Mohid Mahamud.
So I'm amending it to 60 56?
Yes.
All right.
So you're motioning to amend it then?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I second it.
Wait, do you want 56 or 60?
56.
Amanda want to try to get 4 more hours. Oh my
Well,
God.
hold on, how about this? How about you ask him the question and take his answer instead of
I
making
can't
him
ask that
change his
question.
answer again?
Okay, go ahead now.
Alright, Councilman, what were you amending it to?
That's all.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm
we have to go
amending
through.
to 60 hours.
Thank you.
But
Okay, is there a
is it-
second?
Second.
Thank you.
Alright, so.
Well, she want to take the 60 hours, so we have to give it to her.
Oh, okay.
Oh, trust me.
Okay, go ahead.
I
Just
will
one moment, let me
see
take down
how
this
you
note.
confuse
Alright,
the
so
council.
We call on the vote on the amended.
Right.
Okay.
So again, suspend the law, maybe go ahead, vote, call for vote, and discussion enough. It was slow
Alright,
to do.
you seconded. I have to write the
I
amendment.
know. You're so happy to get 60 hours, that's why you're slow.
I'm happy when I'm able to take a vacation.
No problem.
All right, we can go
Are
ahead
we
and
voting
vote.
on the amendment? Thank you.
Yes.
Mr. Mahmoud, Councilman Mahmoud?
Yes.
Councilman Al Samiri?
Yes.
Councilman Hassan?
Yes.
Councilman Chowdhury?
I'm still thinking, yes.
Councilwoman Jakowski?
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, the amendment to Resolution 2303 has been approved.
All right.
All right.
Now we have to vote on the amended resolution, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Need a motion
I
and a
need a
second.
motion, please.
Motion.
Thank you.
Second?
Thank you. Are we voting?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, let's vote.
Councilwoman Jakowski?
Yes.
Councilman Chowdhury?
Yes.
Councilman Mahmoud?
Yes.
Councilman Al Samiri?
Yes.
Councilman Hassan?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Resolution 2303 approved.
Thank you. Next one is Resolution 2023-04, authorizing to sell city properties by public silent auction.
Mr. Mayor?
Oh,
Oh,
motion.
yeah.
Jumping the gun again.
Motion.
Second.
All right?
Thank you.
Yes,
Okay, Mr. Mayor, so, this is, basically the long-awaited property auction. As everybody's aware, we have to have council's permission to sell off the properties. As, you know, stated in the resolution and the agenda note and all the conversations we've had, the silent auction is scheduled to begin tomorrow, and upon completion of the silent auction, we hope to be able to dispose of the properties in one swoop.
okay. Any discussion?
Oh, wait, there was the
So-
one question from public comment.
Yeah, there was something.
I think it was from Lynn. Why did we do a public auction?
Blind,
Silent auction.
silent action, blindly.
And my
Blind.
response to that is it seemed to be the cleanest. I'm not an auctioneer, nor do I know any. So it seemed like the best way to do it. It seemed like the most professional, sealed, above
Yep.
board way.
Next time you do need one, I'll do auctioneer work.
We have to volunteer.
Okay.
And people want to see the property, they just drive by, they can go and see
Yeah, I mean,
inside.
we've posted everything. We don't want anyone going in them for liability purposes because some of them are in pretty bad shape.
Bad shape, okay.
But anyone can go take a peek at them. We've cleaned the properties up extensively. We've boarded them up, locked them, make sure they're secure at this point. And actually, they're pretty good looking now. Since we got hold of them, we figured we wanted to clean them up so that the neighbors have been living next to them in disarray for quite some time. It was overdue, and we went out and cleaned the heck out of them.
All right, thank you. Go ahead and vote.
Councilman Chowdhury?
Yes.
Councilman Mahmoud?
Yes.
Councilman Hassan?
Yes.
Councilwoman Jakowski?
Yes.
Councilman Al Samiri?
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, Resolution 2304 approved.
Thank you. Next one is D, Resolution 2023-05, resolution to accept the 2023 American Rescue Plan grant.
Make a motion?
Second.
Mr. Mayor, I have Tiffany from Hennessy here, who has been very patient with us tonight.
Wow.
Burning
Put it
the-
the wrong way
Thanks,
for you.
Tiffany.
She's
You're a
up
rock
for the next
star.
two.
It's been entertaining. So, we put in for, 2023 SRF loan. We end up receiving a American Rescue Plan grant instead, so at 100% for $795,000. This will replace the water main on Prescott from Conant to El Rey, and then also loop that water main down El Rey into Connect, and replace the lead service lines. So we just need the approval to accept that grant.
I have a question. So is this isn't the grant that we received when we were in 2020, American Rescue Act money?
I mean, we've received so many
So
at this
many.
point, I have to
So
look back.
this is something you applied for it and we just received
Yes.
it recently?
Yes, so the city received ARPA money, so this is actually coming out of the state ARPA fund.
Okay.
So it's
That's
additional,
Additional,
additional
I
ARPA money.
got ARPA money. Thank you.
No question, get it.
Hennessy's been kicking butt getting us grants.
Thank you, Anis.
Okay,
Vote.
thank you.
Ready?
We can vote.
Councilman Al Samiri?
Yes.
Councilman Hassan?
Yes.
Councilman Mahmoud?
Yes.
Councilman Chowdhury?
Yes.
Councilwoman Jakowski?
Yes.
Resolution 2023-05 approved.
Thank you. The next one is Resolution 2023-06, approving the 2024 SRF project plan preparation.
So similarly,
Hold
the
on.
one.
Motion.
Hold on,
Motion.
thank you.
Go ahead.
Alright,
Who make a motion?
go for it, Tiffany.
I'll make a motion.
I got,
All right, I did one, and
Oh.
then
And
someone
then
seconded.
Second, Mr. Mahmoud.
Alright.
Muhid Mahmoud.
Alright.
Go ahead.
So what we'd like to do is we put in notice of intents for a number of projects, 9 water main projects and 3 clean water projects under the SRF loan. Similar to the 2023, there is grant money available, and that's one of the reasons for being so aggressive and doing so many projects under the notice of intent. So to move to the next step and get us into the priority ranking list, we have to prepare a project plan. Essentially, it's a report on the city, gives a lot of background information. We also then go into detail on each project and why the alternative or the area we selected is the best solution and the cost. We will end up preparing that so it's available for public viewing for 15 days, and then we will have to give a presentation to all of you guys on that information and what if we went 100% for the loan, what the increased user cost would be. My hope and goal here is that based on being severely underserved community and with lead service line replacement, is that we will qualify for ARPA grant money. I can't obviously guarantee that, but that's my biggest hope in being so aggressive with the number of projects we're going after.
we're essentially going after everything we can, and we're getting, Hennessy's preparing us for all the potential grants to come along.
So the way the state does it is, once we turn in these project plans, they review those, and then they start ranking us. And obviously the past 2022, I think we were numbers 33 and 34, if I remember correctly. 2023, we ranked, I think, between the 30s and 40s. So we've ranked fairly high in all of our projects, so I'm hoping we can continue that trend and get some more grant funding. So this is the first step, or the next step in going after that.
Thank you. Any question for her? Then go ahead and vote.
Councilwoman Chakowski?
Yes.
Councilman Mahmoud?
Yes.
Councilman Chowdhury?
Yes.
Councilman Al-Samiri?
Yes.
Councilman Hassan?
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, Resolution 2306 is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you, Hennessy.
Thank you. The next one is Resolution 2023-07, approval for contract extension for Oakland County Columbus IT services for police operations.
I'll make a motions.
I'll second.
Mr. Mayor? Chief, you wanna do the?
Yeah. So the Oakland County Columbus system is the report writing system that we use for the police department. We've been using Columbus probably since 2010, 11, somewhere around there. It's just an agreement that we enter every year with them to continue services. The money's already been budgeted. This is just a formality to extend the contract. We're very happy with their services. There's a lot of departments in Southeast Michigan that use Columbus, so we're able to get a lot of information from the system. So we're just asking that you approve the contract extension.
It's mostly the only game in town.
Yeah.
Okay.
The game in town?
Definitely the best one for us.
All right, thank you.
So we have no choice.
It doesn't make sense for us not to.
Okay.
We'd have to
They've been good. Yeah, that's
All right.
service good.
We can go ahead and
Councilman
vote.
Chowdhury?
Yes.
Councilwoman Chakowski?
Yes.
Councilman Mahmoud?
Yes, ma'am.
Councilman Al-Samiri?
Yes.
Councilman Hassan?
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, Resolution 2307 approved.
Thank you, and that was our last item for today from the new businesses. We'll move to the reports, and I'll start with my reports. Since our last meeting on the 28th of December, we didn't have much. Just have a new year, so Happy New Year to everyone. Probably the major event that happened last week, January 6th, was a visit from Dearborn government, the mayor and his team to our city. We had a meeting from our side. It was the city manager, Max, deputy city manager, Maali. Who else was there? Just, and me.
Dearborn's mayor is
And Dearborn mayor and his chief of staff and Sam Baidoun, the Mayor Abdullah Hamoud, and Sam Baidoun from his team. He came as a Dearborn resident, not as a Wayne County commissioner, because we have a different commissioner who represent our district. So we have a very productive meeting. We discussed issues of common interest and shared concerns. We have some residents questions, what are we benefiting from these discussions? Dearborn is a very similar city to our city with similar demographics and backgrounds of residents, similar issues. Probably they are economically stable better than us, but we benefited from discussing our issues with them. And it was a friendly meeting with no obligations, but we committed to further communication and cooperation with them.
Mr. Mayor, if I may add, we're already exchanging information back and forth.
Yes, and we already have some, we're already using some.
We're already using it.
Now they need the animal ordinance maybe from us.
No, not that. And we are already using some of Dearborn resources. Our clerk is from there. And our deputy city manager is also a Dearborn resident. Also, the mayor mentioned that one of his new hired people is a Hamtramck resident, so.
2 for 1.
Yeah, so it's okay.
Trade-off.
So, yeah, so it was a very.
You got the better part though, you got the better deal.
Yeah, we'll get ladies from there. So thank you so much for, that was the only event I attended for the past week, and other than meeting with the residents about the animal ordinance, of course, we had several meetings, one yesterday, one the day before, and we were very busy with this, and I want to thank all the council members for all the time they spend and the efforts they put, and I respect their decisions. I don't take it personal if we disagree, and I keep telling them that, and they know I don't try to influence any one of them. I respect their decision. They are smart people, and they know the community interest and benefits. And I want to thank all the residents who came today, who stayed here, and the people who send their comments via email, and the people who were not able to come. I hope that we put an end to this busy time that we had regarding the animal ordinance, and we start focusing on other issues of priorities for our city. That was my report, and we can move to the Mayor Pro Tem report.
I don't have nothing to.
All right, thank you. You saved some time for us. City Council?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I just want to make a very, very quick comment because I promised in the very beginning that I would not comment on votes in my report time, so I'm going to refrain from doing that. But I do want to make sure that everyone who came out today and commented knows that they are appreciated and they were heard. I literally wrote down every single person's name that I could hear. That's something that I take really, really seriously, and that's something that we can use on nearly every topic that we discuss in the city of Hamtramck. So if there's something that you feel strongly about, even if you want to make Rana read for 30 minutes straight, please let us send those comments in, because that's the way that we here at this table can make the best decisions. Because a lot of times what people want to do is they call me and they say, I talked to this person and that person and this person, and that's great, but I need that person to talk to me too. But not only that, I need them to talk to the other 6 people that are sitting at this desk, and the best place to do that all at one time is from that podium right there. And so today, even though it wasn't necessarily in favor of what the majority wanted, we had our hands tied a little bit because the law is the law to a certain extent, but we need that input, and the best place for that input is here during those council meetings. So if you can't come, email Rana. She loves to read. She really doesn't mind. She's told me that many, many times. So please, thank you for everyone who came today, and please continue that kind of involvement in the future, because it really benefits all of us.
Thank you. That's it?
Want to say something? Well, Mr. Ansumari?
Yes.
He was next. I want to respect
Go ahead. Yeah.
I like to say something for my brother, Hassan, his brother. I am sorry.
Yeah, no family.
Yeah, they came after the years. And I like to thank everyone over there, and my people and my community, they came I am happy to respect all my community. They come today. I do like to respect 1% and I leave 99% out. That's I am happy. I know I'm not win this one, but I am happy to respect all my community for something what they want. And thank you for everyone.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Chair, thank you. Well, since last year, so this is our new first meeting. Happy New Year to you all. And there was an announcement, I forgot to do this. This is from the concerned women of Hamtramck and Hamtramck Public School District President Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. 25th Annual Prayer Breakfast on January 16, 2023 at the Hamtramck Community Center, which is 11350 Cherry Street, 9 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. And it says here, halal food available. So everyone, and you have to purchase the tickets, you know, adults like $20 and tables, maybe children 10 and 12 and older, it's 20 to 10, 150 for the tables. That's one I want to get it out. And one more thing, city manager search ended today. And as you heard or as you read from the review, they said that we have received 120 applications, but we have received well over 120. It's 125 now, I think.
Wow. Is it?
And as we speak, it's ended today. So we're looking forward to it. And I want to mention that some of the folks, during the comment, they said that we just focus on one thing. We do not. At least I don't. I speak for myself. I focus on many other things. Our safety, our health issues, our community infrastructure, roads, alleyway. I constantly communicate with the city manager that how we can get things better than before, one step at a time. You know, and one more thing, or many things, I'll cut it short. The police, we are continuously recruiting police officers. So please forward anyone you know that are interested to police academy. We pay for the recruitments, right, and all the gears. We do need more police officers to safety our communities, our city. As you heard some of them, that recent incident, some of our residents had a burglary, you know, and I was shocked to hear that, you know, during the time they were sleeping, they were at sleep, and somebody broke into the house. And the lady woke up and thought it was her son, but it wasn't her son. It was someone else. They ran out of the back door. Okay, on McDougal. Okay. Yes, so that's kind of scary, so we need to focus on our safety of our communities, because that's what we are here for.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Max, will you walk with him out?
You okay, sir? Okay.
You know what?
Yeah.
In a wheelchair.
So, you know, definitely safety comes first for our families, our communities, our cities. So consider that kind of, you know, that finds someone that you know interested to apply for police department. We are getting close to competitive with other cities. We're slowly progressing. I looked at the salary wages the other day. We're getting there. And I wanted to thank everyone else today coming out here. Actually, that showed us how much we care about the cities. Whether we agreed upon or we disagreed, we still cared about our communities, our city. That's why everybody showed up. Thank you so much. And God bless you. Continue to be safe.
Okay.
That's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Well, nothing much. I just want to say thank you to the community. They all showed up. They all speak. We listen. We do our best to accommodate your ideas, but you know, it's never, it's not going to divide us in the community. We all together are going to celebrate our Hamtramck is our city. We all going to work together, regardless what the outcome is. There's always disagreement and agreement, but doesn't mean that we have to take it seriously. One of the things I know, police chief left, but Naeem brought up. I want to thank you first. That we got your text email they brought the carjacker to the justice. So congratulations to our police department for their great work. Other hand, I think last week there's a Facebook posting that somebody's house was stolen. So we need to get a little serious about the police patrolling to the community. And I know, of course, anything comes blame to us. They say council and police department are worthless in the city of Hamtramck. So
Useless.
yes, I mean this still is a public comment. So we need to work out to safety and security always priority, and we all are committed to do that to our community. So I will probably, as a city manager, I can talk to the police department, see how can we do our patrolling much, Also, Mr. Councilman said that people are driving recklessly to the city. He saw very oftenly, and I mentioned to me the other day. So we need to focus on those to make sure we don't get into the accident or any other lawsuit to the city. Thank you all.
Thank you. Move to the city manager report, if you have any.
Yes, I do. I'm going to try to make it quick, though. So just to speak towards Councilman Mahmood and Councilman Chowdhury's points in regards to the crime recently, the PD is always working very, very diligently, even though we are still, as you know, understaffed in the PD. It's been a constant struggle to get police officers these past few years. I mean, we always have trouble, but even the climate right now is just not conducive to get new officers. With that said, we have 3 in the background phase right now. We are still missing a multitude of our special assignments. We still have grant-funded positions we can't even fill. That's how short-handed we are.
Wow.
But they're working lots of overtime, everyone we have, working really diligently, and we're still counting people. But as you know, we have plenty of customers. The PD will never be out of business. There will always be crime. We'll always be fighting it and always moving ahead. On a separate note, I am incredibly happy to report that all of our key department head positions are now full. Our controller and our DPS director are settling in nicely. Our controller has already started to get the budget wrapped around, and I anticipate the next council meeting to be bringing forward the agenda for the budget, to set the dates for all the budget hearings and so on and so forth, and move forward on that. So very pleased that things are finally settling down in City Hall, and we are moving full steam ahead for you. As Councilman Chowdhury said, and I just reiterated a second ago, we need police officers badly. So anyone that knows anyone that is interested, we have all kinds of incentives in place now to do that. If we get dispatchers and reserves or any other City Hall employees and they work for us for a year, we'll put them through the academy. Our current city employees will get $500 if they do a successful referral. We're getting, as they call swag, pens and things, they hand them at the academies, and we're sending officers out to try and recruit. We're pretty much all hands on deck to get more police officers in the city. We also need 1 code officer at this point and 1 fireman as well. So if you know anyone for those, please let us know.
Is the code is that part or full-time?
Part-time on that one. But also with code, if you know someone that's interested in the code that ultimately wants to be a police officer, that's a vehicle to become a police officer as well. So we need the help in that area. Other than that, we are rocking and rolling, and I appreciate all of your help day to day. I see most of you quite frequently with day-to-day matters as well with residents, so we appreciate that too. That's all I have, Mr. Mayor. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And we are back to our favorite thing, public comments again.
Public comment, thank you so much. Yoshiro, did you want to still speak, or are you good?
Yeah.
Come on up. 2 minutes on agenda items only.
No, I had a family emergency, so I had to leave.
Thanks for coming back.
But I do have one question. Can I address the attorney?
Sure.
Okay, so you pulled up earlier regarding the animal slaughter. Can you reiterate what was the law in terms of humane slaughter?
We have a copy.
Yeah, let me get the exact
I'll send it to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my only other question is that if you, I mean, it might be a little graphic, but if you were to just cut the throat, jump on it, and let it bleed or die, would that be considered humane?
I'd have to reread it, but
I think the law actually said that was one of the methods they considered humane.
But I think the way it's written in here, is that it has to be suspended. So what was the suspension?
no, that's different. That's
Yeah, that's
After.
I just wanna
Yeah.
see, okay.
I'm a butcher, so I know.
That's, I wasn't sure,
yes, I
cause you
know
said
what
let
that
it
is.
leave on the ground, and that's the part I was wondering.
Yeah, because the normal way of doing it, and which I've done before, you know, a couple guys, mostly men, jump on the animal, slice the throat, you hold it down, pupils dilate. That's one of the methods of doing it, but I don't know if that's considered
I
humane.
believe it actually said
To
something in that
cut
nature.
it's basically to.
Carotid artery.
Carotid artery.
Carotid.
Carotid. Not.
Carotid.
Well, that was my only question. Thank you.
Yeah, well, it says here rapid and
Get you a
effective.
copy of
so-
that.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Bill Meyer.
Yeah, okay, all right, hi. Once again, I had come back to say this because technically you can't speak to anybody else, you're supposed to speak to the chair. Like, what do you think the city manager would, you could do that, but you can't. You know, like that.
Yes.
So anyways, I have to reflect on a couple things I said earlier, and I have to disagree with what I said earlier, that this was good that people came out, and it's an important issue because a lot of people were concerned about it. No, I think this was a monumental waste of time, and this is where I feel now, considering what I learned tonight, after I spoke. I did make mention at the beginning, make sure you check all the facts, talk to as many people as you can and all that. This is surprising to me that this apparently went on since July. I don't know, I haven't been following it that long, but when the Sheikh and Nasser came to the council and asked for this request, first of all, why didn't somebody check the federal laws right away about animal slaughter? You would have known, you'd have found out right away that you can't change the federal law. It would have been over with then. There'd been no debate, no argument in the community. Follow the federal law. That would have been it.
Right.
However, you thought, and we didn't do that. So that's what I'm saying. Check the facts first. Secondly, you, with your good heart, wanted to try to find a compromise, which I think all of you feel like, let's find a compromise with these people. They didn't have to compromise because they knew the law was the federal law. They don't have to compromise. You can't put any restrictions on it. And they knew that. So they actually didn't even have to come and ask for this ordinance because it's federal law that they're allowed to do that. So they wasted our time by bringing this to the city. You wasted your time by spending all these months trying to find out if we can change and put regulations on it. And where was our attorney? I mean,
There you go.
He was new, he was brand new, Bill, he was brand
It
new.
was the
He came,
transition
yeah, the
period.
transition, yeah.
They originally started, so
Oh.
now it's consulted and. here's what it is.
okay. You're
Yeah, he
off
was,
then.
and we also heard it from our previous attorney. He also mentioned that we
Okay.
cannot restrict it.
So
So
it
I
should have been
trusted
over.
him for that.
Should have been over at the beginning. We have to follow federal laws, and so this thing you voted on was a total waste of time. What you voted yes or no didn't mean anything.
Nothing.
Because there's nothing in an ordinance different than federal law.
That's why I say I'm voting for it.
So you wasted your time voting, you wasted time talking about this issue, they wasted their time bringing it to the city, and you know, and you all know you felt like you were wasting time. I agree with you all now. We wasted time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Last, but definitely not least, Lynn Blasey. Drum roll.
I'll give you one.
Hello again, Mayor and Council. Regarding the animal ordinance, I think it's important for the community to know that while the city can't put legal restrictions, just as we do with anything else, I encourage the community to come together and create a response to address some of those concerns. If people want to, proactively pay for a dumpster, that is something that we don't need the city's permission to do. If we want to create a designated space, we don't have to legally require it, but we can provide that as a community for residents. So there are still options to address those concerns, not involving, legal things that might get us into a lawsuit. And Hamtramck is great at that. We come together as a community around challenges all the time that we don't have to call, Max about, or we don't have to, bring to council. We have neighborhood cleanups regularly to address the trash issue. We don't need permission to do that. So I just want the community to know that there are ways to support each other and making sure that moving forward with families who choose to sacrifice, that we can do it safely, we can do it humanely, we can do it while respecting our neighbors, even if we're not required so by law. I also was really surprised around the conversation about the PTO and rollover. I get 36 days of PTO a year, and I can roll over a whole year. It's unrealistic for sure for me to use that PTO, but what that does to employee morale is it lets us know that if we need to take a sick day, we can take it without fear of repercussion. Can I?
Yes.
Thank you. We can, you know, we have the reality of living in Hamtramck is we do want to visit family overseas. Financially, it makes sense to visit your family for an extended period of time. In this cultural or, you know, post-COVID climate, we can work remotely. You know, just because someone's overseas doesn't mean that they're going to completely lose touch with what's going on in their day job. Any responsible employee isn't going to just say, I'm going to wash my hands, peace out. You know, you make arrangements to take time off. We hire responsible adults to do their jobs, hypothetically. And I really think that that should be considered when we're making changes to the employee handbook. Thank you.
Thank you. That was the last one?
That's it.
All right, so we'll move to adjourn.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Thank you.
Good night, everyone. No.
Finally.
10:33.
I don't think that Mr.